floor.
Dry in many parts with a few showers in the west and north, but rain will move in over Munster and South Connacht. Highs of 7 to 10 degrees, coldest over Ulster. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
Football on Off the Ball.
Brought to you by Boyle Sports. Now with same-day withdrawals to your Visa debit card.
Welcome back to Saturday's Off the Ball. Nathan with you till 6 o'clock. Joined in studio, as always, by Johnny Ward and Dan McDonnell. We're all here again.
Not going to be here next week.
You're not here next week?
No.
Why not?
Why? Cheltenham.
But that finishes on Friday.
Yeah, but Cheltenham, in your mind, it doesn't finish on Friday.
Oh, it does.
You need a couple of days.
It literally finishes on Friday.
I'm telling you now.
Last race is 5:30 on Friday.
I'm going to struggle to make it.
Why?
Well, I think I'm getting the boat back. You arrive at all hours in the morning.
Yeah.
You're just a dishevelled man.
Okay.
As opposed to.
What time do you get back? Yeah, well, exactly. You've turned up much worse than that.
No, it's a tough.
Half cut here on occasion.
No, I haven't. It's a tough beat doing Cheltenham, though. It really is.
You're
Nobody
moans you're just not going to
more.
be here next Saturday.
Maybe I will.
Will you be in the country?
I will.
All right, you'll be here next Saturday. If we're on a ranking of moany sports journalists, horse racing journalists are right at the top about Cheltenham. They spend all year telling you how great it is, and then all week,
basically,
I'm up at 7 in the morning. I'm up at 7. I know, I could still be doing stuff.
They have to do 4 days that are the equivalent to like 4 Champions League nights or 4 Premier League commentaries or something
like that. It's a lot more than that now. You're at it all. It's an all-dayer, like.
Okay, yeah.
Well done.
It's very draining.
I'd say there's lads out there who've done work in billing sites this week, like, that lad's having a tough time.
Working in a North Korean slave labour camp would be a bit different to going to Cheltenham.
It would.
Yeah.
It would.
I'd prefer Cheltenham.
You wouldn't be able to get on.
No.
The internet access
back in
ain't
the
great.
States, Horace, anyway.
The internet access is great. And a special treat this afternoon. It only happens rarely, but he's sitting at home in Didsbury. Kevin Kilbane with us for the afternoon. How are you?
Oh, yeah. So Johnny's going on the rip. Is that what it is?
No,
that's exactly what he's saying, yeah.
No, you
Johnny,
can't.
you're going on the rip. Don't tell me lies, Johnny. You don't need to lie to me. We're all friends here.
I can't do it anymore. Can't do it anymore.
What,
you can't burn the candle both ends of Cheltenham. Too tough.
Well, I'll tell you what you do then, Johnny. This is what you do. And you go Monday, obviously. You go have a few Monday night. You'll go Tuesday, full belt. Wednesday, Thursday, take it easy. Friday, full belt again. That's what you're doing. I know what's coming.
That's Cavs Craig David remix then.
I think we can turn that into a nice little Cheltenham set.
I think we could definitely add that. Then get the boat home.
Will he turn up for work on Saturday?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. It is great to have Kev with us to bring the bit of insight. He's played top flight football. He's done it all. He can bring a bit of quality input. I just fear, Kev, that you peaked too early today.
Pre-match meal-wise, did you eat beforehand? Did you have something like chicken and beans, sort of Alan Shearer every single week, or did you change it up a little bit?
Yeah, I used to struggle to kind of get food down me before games, really, especially mounds of like pasta and chicken that the lads used to eat. I was very much like big bowl of cereal and then kind of like healthy shakes and stuff.
I didn't like the big meal either. I didn't like the early kickoff as well, so you have to get up and try and throw food down your neck at 9 o'clock in the morning. So no, didn't like that.
Okay, thank you for clearing up that, Kevin.
Wow, Football Focus earlier. Even Dan Walker thought that was an incredibly boring story.
Well, he shouldn't ask the question then, should he? I'm only telling you what it's like, Nathan. Great insight from the very top. That's it.
Yeah.
Some good stuff, yeah.
Some really good stuff. Up your game is all I'm saying.
Right, I'll do my best.
Over the next little while, we're going to be chatting about Mick McCarthy's Ireland squad, another all-in type squad. We'll chat a bit of League of Ireland as well. Where were you last night?
I was at Bowes Derry.
You were with Mick McCarthy?
Mick McCarthy and Stephen Kennedy. I think Mick McCarthy might have left. He had to go on the Late Late Show.
He was on the Late Late and he was very warmly received. They were literally singing Ole Ole by the end.
Really?
The entire audience were on their feet singing Ole Ole.
I heard
That's how well it went.
They got tickets for the game.
They got free tickets for the game. We are also going to be giving away free tickets for the game.
Oh, very good.
In this hour. I'll get to that in a moment. Johnny, where were you?
I was in Inchicore for St. Patrick's Athletic Shamrock Rovers.
Director's box?
No, I was in the press box. It was beside the press box. Robbie Keane was 2 seats over from me. But unfortunately, Mick McCarthy, if he's been to 2 games this season, they've both been pants by all accounts. It wasn't a good game, and it was a really good game, I thought, in Inchicore for Robbie Keane. And I thought Rovers gave a real statement of kind of intent for the title race.
So Rovers top of the league, they beat Pats 1-0. You were impressed with Jack Byrne? No? I saw a couple of people. So tell us your little Jack Byrne story first.
Yeah, it's slight hearsay now, but the guy who told me would be very reliable. He threw a strop when he was taken off.
Did you not see it?
No.
You were there?
Well, he was taking.
When you're in the press box, the away bench is right in front of you.
You're not looking at the bench. I was watching the game. Like
this literally went from 5 seconds ago.
Anyway,
you never mentioned when you were telling the story off air that you hadn't seen it.
Can we clarify this? Yeah, this is
so just before we libel anybody.
Health warning here. This story may or may not be true.
The guy who told me is a regular guest on this show, and he is
Shane Keegan,
reliable.
was it?
He's a regular guest.
Shane
on this
Keegan,
show.
was it?
But Jack Byrne, he didn't have a great game. He's playing out of position. He's
okay because I saw 2 tweets about this game this morning, both saying that Jack Byrne was very good.
But you expected of him. I didn't think he did an awful lot in the game. He's a very good player, but he was playing out on the right. I thought Aaron McAniff was very, very good. Greg Bulger was absolutely excellent. The Rovers were by far the better team, and they do look like a team that are not going to give many goals away. And Pats were miles off it. The saddest part of the game was watching how far Chris Forrester is off it at the moment. He's just like a guy that has really the weight of the world on his shoulders, and I hope that he turns it around because he's so far off the pace. He's not a shadow of the player that he was when he last played in the league at the moment.
We'll hear from Stephen Bradley and Harry Kenny a little bit later in the show. Our reporter Enda Call was at that match as well. We've been talking this week about late goals and dramatic late goals and the best of them. Obviously Marcus Rashford, quality-wise, was just a penalty kick, but it was the sheer drama of those final minutes in the game against Paris Saint-Germain. And we put up a little Twitter poll yesterday, as always, that got absolutely slaughtered, generally, of the best late goal. So we just put a couple of suggestions and then said you can add your own. So the suggestions were Sergio Aguero against Queen's Park Rangers, Robbie Keane against Germany, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer against Bayern Munich, or other, which got 2%.
Surely other was entitled to more.
A lot of people commented with other goals.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas at Anfield.
Oh, yeah.
So Aguero, 18%. Robbie Keane and Ibaraki only got 25%. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, this poll was hijacked by the Manchester United supporters, got 55%. So to win a pair of tickets for the Republic of Ireland against Georgia, premium level, the good stuff, you might be beside Johnny Ward, you never know.
Oh, you probably will be beside Johnny Ward.
Just tweet us to @OffTheBall and let us know what you think was the greatest ever late injury time goal.
Is it greatest ever in terms of like quality or drama?
Either are.
Most memorable.
Either are. What is there goals that hit both marks?
I mean, the Aguero goal was a great dramatic finish to it in that regard.
Well, in terms of context, it doesn't get much bigger. It won them the league with almost the final kick of the game.
There's a certain quality about how he took it, all right.
From an Irish point of view, Robbie Keane's goal. Kev, you were on the pitch.
Yeah.
What do you remember? What do you remember of it?
It needs must towards the end of the game. We brought Quinny on with what must have been about 10-15 minutes to go. We're chasing, aren't we? That's how it was. I felt as though we were comfortable enough in the game. Germany not really hurting us. Once he'd scored, it followed a similar sort of pattern to the Spain game and the knockout game, where they just didn't hurt us at all after getting the early goal. Was it Morientes scored against us that night? And then we just dominated the game. We were good on the ball. We just weren't really creating enough chances. Germany just sat in as a real tight back four, so they were difficult to get at. And Quinny come on and we started to cause a few problems. So, yeah, that is the standout memory. I mean, I know Dan just mentioned there, I remember it really well as a kid, the Michael Thomas goal. I just think, I think that's probably the standout one, even the ones you've mentioned. They're certainly much more dramatic even than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's, because to go to Anfield to win the league, you have to win a game. You have to win by 2 goals, and to score so late like it was, I think it was 90th minute, whatever it was. And that's probably, I think that's certainly right up there with those other 3 that we put on there anyway.
Very honourable mention for Stan Collymore goal for Liverpool against Newcastle, one of the most unforgettable games of all time, and that game just had everything. And the composure of John Barnes when, the place must have been one of the best atmospheres ever at Anfield that night. It was an incredibly insane game, and Barnes had the composure in the box to stop and to look to the left to find Collymore. I think anyone who was at that game will never forget it.
I always like an unexpected late goal. So where it's not a team putting sort of the Solskjaer goal, United had the momentum at that stage. I know it's the Champions League final, it's an injury time, there's a context to it. Like Divock Origi, Kev, what about that one? But goals like that are brilliant.
Sound effect.
Goals like that are brilliant because the game was over. Like nobody thought there was. People were turning away. They were going home, and it's just so out of the blue. Is what gives it the drama.
About that day, though, Nathan, anyone would swear you're a Liverpool fan just by listening to your commentary on that day. That's the thing. So it was great commentary from you. That's what I.
Well, it's a 94th minute winner in a Merseyside derby, Kev. I think you're not meant to just sit there quietly as you did.
Do you let the mask slip a bit when you're commentating?
Never.
Never. I always used to admire
what mask, Johnny? Johnny, what mask is that?
I always used to admire the likes of Ger Canning and Marty Morrissey when Clare or Cork respectively were playing. You'd never really tell. I don't think I'd be as professional as that, to be honest.
Well, that's a given, to be fair.
There's been a goal in the Premier League. There's been a couple of them. Let's go to St James's Park. Newcastle against Everton. Stephen Goldsmith.
Newcastle 0, Everton 1. The visitors break the deadlock here, and it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin with it. The ball come over from the left. Calvert-Lewin got across his marker and just glanced the ball into the bottom corner to give Everton the lead. Newcastle 0, Everton 1.
No Seamus Coleman for Everton in that game. He wasn't named in the starting team but fell ill before kick-off, so was replaced, but Everton have gone in front through Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Huddersfield against Bournemouth. There's been a goal in this one. Joe Townend.
Huddersfield 0, Bournemouth 1, and no surprise at the goal scorer, it's Callum Wilson. Bournemouth have looked a threat on the counter-attack all half, and Ryan Fraser burst down the left-hand side. A nice bit of play, he got the ball back, drilled it across to the back post, and Callum Wilson, I think, has forced the ball home with his chest. And with England manager Gareth Southgate watching as he prepares to announce his squad next week, I think he'll have been impressed by Wilson's overall contribution so far. Huddersfield 0, Bournemouth 1.
Yeah, so Callum Wilson back fit and back among the goals for Bournemouth, who have a horrible run away from home. They've lost their last 9 games, conceded at least 2 in each of them, so maybe there is still some hope for Huddersfield in that match. It's an 11th Premier League goal of the season for Callum Wilson. Let's go to St Mary, see what's going on between Southampton and Spurs. Alan Lewis.
Southampton 0, Tottenham 0, but a bright start from both teams. Harry Kane with 2 early chances in this game. The first, he was given time and space but fired his volley wide from 18 yards out. Just 30 seconds later, a ball over the top. Kane again, this time taking it early as well, but missing the target yet again. A couple of good chances for Spurs, and so far Southampton not troubling the goalkeeper. Southampton 0, Tottenham 0.
Brendan Rodgers' first home game in charge of Leicester City is against relegation-threatened Fulham. Watching this one is Derek Clark.
Leicester City 0, Fulham 0. It's been a pretty scrappy start to this game, it has to be said. Fulham have yet to test Kasper Schmeichel in the Foxes' goal. The home side have had a couple of chances, shots on goal. They both went over the bar. Tielemans with an angled effort with his left foot, and then Ndidi a long-range drive that went high and wide. It's Leicester City 0, Fulham 0.
With an early goal at the Cardiff City Stadium, they're up against West Ham. Sam Fleet.
It's Cardiff 1, West Ham 0. Junior Hoylett with the early goal, which gave the Bluebirds a huge lift after 4 minutes. A lovely finish into the top corner from Murphy's low cross on the right. It could have been 2 as well. Long ball forward from Hoylett for Cardiff. Wasn't dealt well by Fabianski, the West Ham keeper, who made a hash out of collecting the ball. It came to Nias and left of the area, who tried to knock it into an unguarded net, but it hit it over the bar. Cardiff 1, West Ham 0.
So latest scores in the Premier League, as you hear, Cardiff are 1-0 up against West Ham. As it stands, that would put them level on points with Southampton, as Southampton still scoreless against Spurs. Everton 1-0 up away against Newcastle, and Bournemouth 1-0 up away at Huddersfield, scoreless between Leicester and Fulham. The late game, Manchester City will have a chance to go 4 points clear when they take on Watford. We mentioned in the Championship, Preston moved closer to the playoff positions with a 1-0 win away at Blackburn. Sheffield United into the automatic promotion positions after a 2-0 win against Rotherham. Leeds United also chasing an automatic spot. They are 1-0 up early on against Bristol City.
Who scored it?
Who scored, Kev?
Paddy, Podrick, Podge, Bamford.
Yes.
Yeah, good man.
We were down yesterday. Where was it? The Westin Hotel at a Virgin Media Sport, sort of to say all the different events they've live and the Six Nations in Cheltenham. Spectacular week of sport, yes. I'll give it the proper plug when we're talking to Tony McCoy later. Kevin was down there as well, surrounded by journalists. Just heard Patrick Bamford's name come up and I thought this will be interesting. Then I go online about 3 hours later. Kilbane slates Bamford. I had a Porter-Gammond in ahead of him.
Is that slating him?
You would have Porter-Gammond in your squad ahead of Patrick Bamford?
Yeah, I would. Well, has there been any serious desire to come and play for Ireland? And that's ultimately what I think. He scored today. Very good football. There's no doubt about that. But has he really decided, look, I desperately want to play for Ireland, I'll pick up the phone, I'll answer Mick McCarthy's calls, I'll actually make it my business to go and see him. I know it's not the modern day thing, it's not necessarily what a modern day player would do, but if you want to come and play for us, you've got to show a desire to actually want to come and play for us. And is that the case? I don't necessarily see it as a huge desire in his life. It might be a career move. I don't want to see playing for Ireland as a career move.
Morals are great and all that, and philosophy, but we don't have strikers. Simple as. What's he got? 6 goals.
Well, today we've got David McGoldrick already, as I used to call him, and Scott Hogan playing in tandem up front. We've got Sean Maguire. We've got 3 Irish strikers that have started for 2 sides in very good form this season. So, surely those 3 players in general have got to be ahead of him anyway.
Was Scott Hogan not in a similar position 3 years ago?
Possibly, yes, but he's declared now, hasn't he? And he's showed his maybe. I don't know. I don't know. We're going to go. It's endless what we're going to go on with this as well. But Patrick Bamford hasn't shown the real desire. I know Mick's saying but did he get a text to say he's available? He's
well,
free
he scored
now,
twice last week, and Mick texted him on the Saturday morning, and Bamford responded.
Yeah, what does that tell you? I don't know. I mean, it's ridiculous. I know Johnny's saying that idealistic, but it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't know. It frustrates me, lads. It frustrates me. It's not something I really want to get into because it is frustrating, but it is what it is, isn't it?
On a purely simple point of view on this, why can't he just meet Patrick Bamford? I do not understand the constant. Okay, only a week had passed between press conferences, and Mick McCarthy, I think, was a bit annoyed that he was being asked about it again. But why can he not just drive up the road and say to Patrick Bamford, are you around on Friday at 2 o'clock after training? Let's just sit down and sort this out once and for all.
Yeah, I think that's the part of the story that will wind people up. That it seems to have been a bit complicated to arrange.
Footballers are busy.
Chat. Yeah, I know
nobody's that busy.
He's been injured and so on. I know Bielsa.
Well, that's the point. Yeah. That's the point I'm saying. You pick up the phone, you say, I'll meet you. It's easy to do. It's no problem at all. But it's always overly complicated because there's a hidden meaning behind this. Yeah, all right, you're there, I'll go and play for you. Thanks very much. Thanks, I'll have a cap. That's great. Thanks a lot. It's a great career move for me. No, I'm sorry, but no.
Is it a great career move for him, though? Do you know? I mean, playing for a pretty bang average international team.
Well, there's no one else for him, Johnny, is there? He's not going to play for England. So that's what I mean. Am I quite happy just saying, thanks very much for second fiddle? Johnny, I'm sorry, but I know that you don't share my view, but I just cannot. Honestly, it grates on me so much when it's just almost like it's a career move that it might enhance my reputation just playing international football.
My point is, if he comes in playing for Ireland, I don't expect him to put in any less of an effort than anyone else because it's a game of football.
No, that's not the point. It isn't the point, Johnny. Of course, it's the case. We've had many lads that have come in and done that, but the point being, it's like. It's almost like, yeah, well, all right, they're there. I'll go and play for them. I'm playing international football now. Great. It's just. Does it mean that much to him? If I'm in his position or anyone else's position there, it's you're desperate to meet him. I tell you what, Mick, desperate. Yeah, ring him, text him, whatever it will be. Go and have that conversation with him. Yeah. But it's that reluctancy to have that conversation. That's the thing.
Maybe he needs, there's also another way of looking at this. He comes into the Ireland setup, he gets on well with the lads, he scores a goal against whoever in June or July, and the Irish fans take him. He's like, well, I'm really, really enjoying this. It's great to be playing for Ireland, and he actually revels in the role, and maybe he doesn't appreciate how good it'll be.
Well, every player that's come in has been integrated. You only listen to John O'Shea was talking midweek to Stephen Doyle. There hasn't been one player that's come in with where it has been iffy whether or not they're going to come and actually play for us. There hasn't been one player that once they're integrated, once they're in the squad, it's fine. My problem being, and it will always come down to this at the start of it now. And we've had it a few times. I listened to Jamie O'Hara a few weeks ago. I think he was on Talk Sport talking. Said, look, it's the biggest regret of my career that I never actually went and played for Ireland because it would have been great for my career. I'm like, hang on a minute, mate, get out of it. Like, you want to play for us as a career move that's going to enhance your reputation, that's going to actually maybe get you another move to another club. That's not the way it should be, and it never ever should be that way playing for Ireland. And I'm sorry, I know so many don't share my views, but it grates on me like you'll never ever believe.
Clearly, I think we end up talking about it every week. But on the Patrick Bamford point, and you say right now he's a million miles away from an England call-up, you do again just wonder about the role of agents in this. So he's part of a Leeds team that could well end up being promoted to the Premier League. He's still only 25. He's come through an underage system at Chelsea where he was very, very highly rated. Gets into the Premier League next season, gets a full year of full fitness. And who knows, maybe he's there or thereabouts. And maybe that's in his ear. There's no rush. You don't need to rush into playing for Ireland. Give it another... You're only back to full fitness. You're only really coming into your best years. Give it another 18 months.
I think Mick has said he wants him in by June, so I think if Bamford plays that game now, he'll get short shrift. I think I'd take everything Kev's saying on board. I think if Bamford meets McCarthy, he has to get the paperwork and all this stuff in motion. If he sits on the fence now, that he can't play in the campaign,
is what we should... Maybe we're reading between the lines in the wrong way. That actually, as Mick, he was on the Late Late Show last night, was saying, you know, I'm not going to beg players to play for Ireland. That simply he is just texting Patrick Bamford, and I said, let's meet. If he doesn't suggest a place, I'm not going to go chasing up and driving 2 hours to meet him if he's no real interest.
Do you know what? I've said it before, and I think when Martin O'Neill, Martin O'Neill was questioned on his pursuit of Jack Grealish, did he do enough? Personally, and this is genuine, you get a call up. If you don't actually accept the call up, thanks very much. Why on earth do you need to go and pursue someone? Why on earth do you need to go and pursue a player to come and play for us?
Because we're not very good, Kev.
Johnny, we're not that desperate. I'm sorry, but I don't want you in the side if we're going to come and pursue you. Why on earth would you want that? I would.
How far would you go with the pursuit, Johnny? Would you would you be ringing him up every week saying, "Come on, play for us. I know you might have a chance somewhere else. Please, we desperately need you."
He might.
Do you not just give him the initial call as Mick McCarthy did?
Yeah, he might be playing hard to get, but you don't want to be desperate either, if you know what I mean. But at the moment, like, Kev's reeling off strikers there. We have no striker at this stage that we can be anyway confident in scoring goals for us, and I include Sean Maguire in that. Sean Maguire hasn't done it yet for Ireland,
and I'd include Patrick Bamford.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would include Bamford in that.
Absolutely, but he's another option.
Patrick Bamford is another option. He's a very good player. I've seen a lot of him. I think I was saying to lads, I actually played against him when he was at Forest. When I was on loan at Derby, I played a reserve game, and he was only 16 at the time. He moved not long after that to Chelsea. I think it was for £1 million at the time. Very good player, technically brilliant footballer. And that was why you get picked up by Chelsea at such a young age. He has had a lot of injury.
He's technically brilliant.
Technically very good, yeah.
Right.
Technically with his back to goal, very, very good, Johnny. Yeah, very good.
I'm going to see him on Tuesday night because Leeds are playing Reading, and I'm going to get that in.
I'm
It'll be very good to see him play.
Saying, I played alongside David McGoldrick. David McGoldrick's very, very good with his back to goal. Really excellent with his back to goal. I'm not necessarily saying he's better than David McGoldrick. He's probably a better option than David McGoldrick because youth is on his side. I think equally, it's not. As we said just then, it's not necessarily a massive upgrade. We're not signing. I don't know. We're not picking up Messi here. He's a very good player. But just equally, I'm saying Sean Maguire is a very good player. I'm saying Dave McGoldrick, Shane Long, they're very good players. But they're not. He's not necessarily going to dramatically improve the side and say, look, he's going to go and score 10 goals through a campaign. He's another Robbie Keane or anything like that, because he simply isn't. Just
two things. Firstly, good to know that Johnny is completely flat out is getting a game in on Tuesday night, by the way. He can't come in next week. He's
and also, I think we can all agree.
Over the top. I mean, on our busy weeks, we love nothing more than getting in a race meeting on one of the days, you know, but that's by the by.
But just before we move on from that, you can actually take next Saturday off, Johnny, because we don't need the... I saw Patrick Bamford playing Tuesday night, and we need to get this guy into the squad.
No, we want Johnny in next
shocker on Tuesday night.
We do want you in, but that's one. I mean, I don't think this is the case with Bamford. But Kev, do you ever think in any of these cases that some of the players, like they're worried in some ways about how they might be received, and could that in any way play any part in hesitance? I'm not sure in this particular case, but we have heard the likes of, in fairness, Mark Noble, Dave Kitson. I think you really respected, Kitson's point of view. Do you think there's a possibility that some players who are dithering are sort of wondering about it? I know your argument might be, Kev, well, if they're wondering, then they shouldn't. But maybe there's a desire there, but almost they want to be reassured because they're wondering what a dressing room would make of them too. I don't believe that would be the case with Bamford from things you hear. But could that be a broader point as well, that maybe lads who are reluctant, it's because they're not sure in some ways?
Yeah, well, it's a great point. Who's to say that is or isn't the case? And it wouldn't surprise me if one or two lads that have been picked and are willing to come in have that little bit of fear in the mind. But all I would say to that is pick up the phone to Clinton Morrison, pick up the phone to whoever, any of the lads that have played and come in, and ask them what it was like for them. Ask them their experiences when they came into the squad and how they were taken on board and how they were welcomed into the side. That's all you need to do. You know, if you're going to go and if you've got a dilemma whether or not you should play for us, personally, I don't think you should. But if that is the case, and I'll take it that some people do have that, well, due diligence is required. Then pick up the phone, speak to people that might have had that sort of problem. You can easily get a number for a number of players that have come in late and played for us. And ask the lads the question, and they'll give you the answer. And once they get that answer, I'm sure it'll be confirmed to them from those players.
Try for Scotland in the Six Nations. Darcy Graham has just gone over, so they now trail Wales by 15 points to 11. There's still 20 minutes left in that match at Murrayfield, so Wales with a bit of work to do if they are to roll on towards a Grand Slam. Goals in the Premier League. Let's go to St Mary. Southampton against Spurs. Alan Lewis.
Southampton 0, Tottenham 1, and it's that man again, Harry Kane, who has just given Tottenham the lead. He's had a couple of chances in this first half, but he's taken this one, given far too much time and space inside the 6-yard box. He was cool and collected with his finish, just to lift the ball over gun in the Southampton goal. You have to say it's been coming. Christian Eriksen has hit the crossbar, and Maya Yoshida almost turned one into his own net, but Tottenham have the advantage. Southampton 0, Tottenham 1.
Harry Kane on to 17 Premier League goals for the season, and this just his 26th appearance. There's also been a goal at the King Power. Leicester against Fulham. Derek Clark.
Leicester City 1, Fulham 0, and the goal coming on 21 minutes from Yuri Tielemans. It was Wilfred Ndidi who robbed Callum Chambers in the middle of the park. He played the ball forward to Jamie Vardy, who beat the offside trap. He simply squared the ball to Tielemans, and the Belgian cut inside before passing into an empty net. It's Leicester City 1, Fulham 0.
Another goal at St James's Park. Newcastle against Everton. Stephen Goldsmith.
Newcastle 0, Everton 2, and moments after Newcastle have missed a penalty, the visitors have doubled their lead. This time the ball was played into the box from the right hand side. Dubravka could only spoon the ball out as far as Richarlison, who struck the ball home into the empty net. It's Newcastle 0, Everton 2.
Let's see what's happening at the Cardiff City Stadium. They're up against West Ham. Sam Fleet.
It remains Cardiff 1, West Ham 0. Junior Hoylett with the goal, which separates the teams here. In the last few minutes, West Ham have taken more control of the game. They've had plenty of the ball, been trying to create some attacking spark. Things not falling to them though yet. Nias almost made it 2-0 to Cardiff, in fact, when Gunnarsson's throw-in wasn't dealt with, and Nias slid a half chance just wide. It's Cardiff 1, West Ham 0.
As it stands, Cardiff would be out of the relegation zone. And Huddersfield against Bournemouth. Joe Townsend.
Huddersfield 0, Bournemouth 1. Callum Wilson's chest home at the back post after a run and cross from Ryan Fraser separates the sides, and that goal has woken Bournemouth up a bit and thrown the home side off a little. Previously it had all been counter-attack for Bournemouth, with Huddersfield dominating the ball, but already the Premier League's bottom club and their fans are starting to get frustrated. It's Huddersfield 0, Bournemouth 1.
We're giving away a pair of premium level tickets to the Republic of Ireland against Georgia on this afternoon's show. We want to know your favourite late goal. Get your text into 53106 or your tweets to @OffTheBall. Forget soccer, lads. Kevin Foley for Meath against Dublin.
That was great stuff.
But we're keeping it to soccer, so you're ruled out. Sorry about that.
It's when hand passing actually was attractive.
No, you're all wrong. Only I am correct. Iniesta's against Chelsea is the best ever last minute goal. It does make me think, actually, when we're talking about the Champions League being way better now and way more dramatic.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Chelsea provided a lot of drama over that sort of 4 or 5 year spell.
Yeah.
That was an unbelievable goal from Iniesta as well.
Yeah. No, that's a hell of a shout, really. Yeah.
Troy Deeney. This could be a contender. Troy Deeney's goal after Knockaert missed the penalty at Vicarage Road to put Leicester through to the playoff final in injury time. Watford up the field after Almunia saved and then scored with the last kick. We'll never forget watching that one as a neutral, says Connor in Armagh. Ryan Giggs in the FA Cup. Manny coming in for that. Was that a last-minute goal?
That was an extra time rather than being in the 120th minute.
It needs to be in injury time.
It needs to be almost the game is tipped off and it's over. There's no time to react type scenario. So Giggs is
Steve Bruce, 2 late headers against Sheffield Wednesday to go on and win first Premier League.
That's a shout, yeah. Shamrock Rovers fans reminded me of a Gary Twigg goal against Bows as well.
The funny aspect of those goals is Worthington on the back post, kind of just kind of watching it as if he was
watching the 4 o'clock at Fakenham there.
He's just like,
might get round to that in a minute.
So that's you up to date with all the latest in the Premier League. Keep your texts, keep your tweets coming in. Kev is staying with us, Dan and Johnny as well. We'll take a quick break.
Football on Off the Ball.
Brought to you by Boyle Sports. Now with same-day withdrawals to your Visa debit card.
Weekends on News Talk are about to get brighter. We have a brand new lineup of presenters with some brand new shows. Bigger.
I'm Vincent Wall, and each week we'll be taking a wider view of some of the major shifts in the global economy and those closer to home.
Better.
This is The Home Show with me, Sinead Ryan. We'll be discussing design, architecture, interiors and garden matters.
Brighter.
You're listening to On The Record. This is Gavin Riley with you for the next 2 hours.
And we still have all your usual favourites too. See newstalk.com for the full lineup.
Peugeot's exciting lineup of SUVs at Gowan Motors Navan Road includes award winners like the 3008 and the best-selling 7-seater in its class in 2018, the 5008. The iCockpit interior delivers a driving environment like no other, standard across the Peugeot SUV range. Visit Gowan Motors Navan Road today and discover the allure of Peugeot.
Want peace of mind with your next car purchase? Done Deal's new manufacturer-approved car ads give you warranties, roadside assist and so much more. Find your next car with Ireland's largest selection of manufacturer-approved car ads. Done Deal. Discover and drive.
Dreaming of a sunny beach break? Fly Air Arabia direct to Agadir, Morocco's premier sun destination. Flights from Dublin start at €59 one way, including taxes. Book at airarabia.com. Air Arabia. Where next? T's and C's apply.
Mattresses-delivered.ie. Nationwide delivery within 48 hours for free. That's mattresses-delivered.ie. Lowest prices guaranteed. Don't forget the hyphen. T's and C's apply.
Just 30 minutes from Dublin lies the K Club, Ireland's premier golf resort and the perfect location for your next golfing escape. Experience luxurious accommodation and play 2 Arnold Palmer designed championship golf courses. Swing into action. And book your golf break today at kclub.ie.
Liverpool Football Club, you'll never walk alone, and that's why we're supporting the Sean Cox Rehabilitation Trust. Watch LFC Legends take on a Republic of Ireland 11 on Friday, April 12th at 7:45 in Aviva Stadium. Republic of Ireland 11 versus LFC Legends, featuring Robbie Keane, Robbie Fowler, Ian Rush and more. Friday, April 12th. Tickets on sale now from just €20 for adults and €10 for kids at ticketmaster.ie/LFC. Please show your support and get your tickets today.
Here's a great travel recommendation if you're off on your hauls, at home or abroad. 4 out of 5 of our customers would recommend VHI Multi-Trip Travel Insurance for reliable medical cover and cover for cancellations, lost luggage and lots more. VHI Multi-Trip includes all the trips you take in a year from just €52 when you have health insurance with medical cover abroad of €65,000 or more. Call Ireland's #1 health insurer now on 1890 444444 or visit vhi.ie. When you need us, we're there. €52 based on one adult under 65. VHI Healthcare DAC trading as VHI Healthcare is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland and is tied to Collinson Insurance Services Limited for multi-trip travel insurance.
How are you, football fans? Tomorrow you can stream Arsenal v Man United and Chelsea v Wolves. That's 2 unmissable fixtures for a one-off payment of just €10. To grab a Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass and only pay for the games that matter to you, search Now TV today. Content streamed via internet, full terms at nowtv.com.
Cheltenham is just around the corner and the Irish Daily Mirror has everything you need in a great 32-page supplement free inside this Monday. We go on stable tours with Willie Mullins and Gordon Elliott to hear about the best of the Irish hopefuls. And Ruby Walsh tells us why Cheltenham is the place that every jockey wants a winner. Get the inside track to Cheltenham free inside your Irish Daily Mirror this Monday.
The O'Brien's Italian wine sale is now on. Enjoy 20 to 40% off our entire range of over 90 exciting Italian wines. Discover Amarone and Chianti, Barolo, Pinot Grigio and Prosecco, all from quality-focused boutique family-run wineries and well-known brands. If you love full-bodied reds, don't miss out on Mazzi Campo Fiorin, now only $13.95, save €6. Pop into your local O'Brien's or shop online at o'brienswine.ie. Please enjoy alcohol sensibly.
What is it that drives you? If it's the pursuit of power, passion and style, then prepare to be amazed. Introducing the brand new Peugeot 508, the perfect expression of everything that drives us to create cars that stir the soul. The new 508 brings elegance and engineering to a whole new level, with features like Peugeot's unique iCockpit interior, night vision and adaptive cruise control. Test drive the amazing new 508 at your nearest Peugeot dealer. See Peugeot.ie for details.
No one does Cheltenham quite like QuinBet. With a huge selection of markets on horse racing, plus all your favourite sports. We've got you covered right through the festival and beyond. And now with live casino and Irish lottery betting, you can find us on mobile, app and PC. QuinBet.com. T's and C's apply. Gamble responsibly. Visit gambleaware.ie.
Are you interested in qualifying to treat pain and injury? The National Training Centre offers part-time evening and weekend courses directed by internationally renowned expert John Sharkey. Enroll now for our accredited neuromuscular therapy courses starting in Dublin this April or next autumn nationwide. For details and availability, visit ntc.ie. NTC. See who you can be.
Football on Off the Ball.
Brought to you by Boyle Sports. Now with same-day withdrawals to your Visa debit card.
Welcome back. Latest scores in the Premier League as we head for half-time in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Everton 2-0 up away against Newcastle. Harry Kane has given Spurs a 1-0 lead against Southampton. As it stands, Cardiff are out of the relegation zone because they lead West Ham by 1-0 in Wales. Bournemouth 1-0 up away against Huddersfield, and Brendan Rodgers' Leicester City are 1-0 up at home against Fulham. In the Championship, Leeds still leading Bristol City by 1-0. The goal from Patrick Bamford. Derby 1-0 up at home against Sheffield Wednesday as they look to get their playoff hopes back on track. Middlesbrough are 1-0 up in their match against Brentford. Wigan are leading Reading by 1-0 at the Medeski. West Brom have taken a 1-0 lead against Ipswich in the last few minutes, and the rest of the games remain scoreless. Preston are 1-0 winners against Blackburn. Sheffield United beat Rotherham by 2-0. Rugby man Johnny Ward is getting excited because Scotland have entered the 22.
They're all over the Welsh, Nathan, and it looks obviously this would be a great result for us if they could pull it off.
Johnny's also confessed that next Saturday he's got plans to watch the rugby potentially. That's why he might be sacking it off here.
This isn't a turn up when you want gig, Johnny. You got to be here every week.
If you're
in the country, unless you're ill or out of the country, you have no choice but to be here.
You were ill during the weekend. You got over your...
I did, yeah. And I was ill during the week and I turned up for a pre-arranged... I turned up. I didn't just... You know, you can't just phone it in.
Valiant.
Wales still leading Scotland by 15 points to 11. There are 12 minutes left in that game. Lads, as Bamford has scored for Leeds again, wonder will Southgate be on the phone to him tonight?
Oh, God.
Banta.
Well, you wouldn't rule it out with England, really, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm sure as Ireland have people working on our behalf, England also realise, somebody says to Gareth Southgate, by the way, you know the Declan Rice thing, they're trying to do that with Patrick Bamford as well.
Of course.
And Southgate goes, all right.
Bamford would have played England underage under Southgate, you know. So I suppose he'd have an idea where he might stand with Southgate. It might even explain why he seems to be keen, because he may know that he's not going to figure. It's definitely I mean, the thing is, all the discussion at the moment, just looking at the debates in England around homegrown players and quotas and how Brexit might affect things. And I mean, I think 30% of the players in the Premier League are qualify as English. I think homegrown, or I think was it even some weekend earlier this season it was less than that percentage-wise. So anyone that comes along and does well in the Premier League, they will be having a look. So I'd say Bamford's very much been on their radar anyway, and maybe any decision he might be making probably influenced by knowing where he stands within that.
Should I make a bid for the mix zone after the game like you did with Rice, or you think?
Yeah, well, there you go, Johnny. There you go.
Yeah. You give it a bash.
Ever been to Reading?
I've not been to a game in the stadium. There's a hotel next to the stadium where I interviewed Stephen Hunt and Noel Hunt together.
Wow,
some years
how
ago.
was that?
Hunt brothers. It was great, yeah. But Stephen saying, no, you can't say that. No, you can't say that. No.
Stephen was saying that.
Stephen was.
So he was an agent from early on in life.
Yeah, he was like, oh, this was early days now. This was been just because obviously, God, it might be 10 years ago now when Noel came down from Scotland to join Reading. Probably around that time, yeah. So.
Well, John O'Shea will be there as well. So what you could do is sort of corner John O'Shea and Patrick Bamford together.
It'd be a bit of a coup, like if
that's what I'm saying. This could be
do your work
you're making.
Yeah.
It'd be very confusing if I'm over in Cheltenham and next thing people see me breaking the story about Patrick Bamford.
And that's the kind of guy you are. You're an all-rounder.
Yeah.
You're getting excited about the rugby here. Yeah. Anything. That's
making noises.
The charm of Johnny Ward. Who knows what's going to come next?
We all love Kevin Kilbane, but like he's bringing headlines to the fact that he doesn't like the Bamford situation type thing. Probably doesn't help Bamford if he actually sees the article. If you Google Patrick Bamford in Ireland today, first thing you see is Kevin Kilbane giving out about him.
Kilbane's not there to defend himself, unfortunately. His Wi-Fi is dropped. He's finding his next target.
Probably Maguire's fault.
Hi guys, talking about late goals from great games. Did you see Garage Morrissey last night? Outrageous goal for Cork City against Finn Harps to edge a 7-goal thriller. Stunning from Jim Costello in Dublin 9.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was midway through the first half, so it probably takes away the late goal aspect.
It certainly does.
But, I mean, it was a good way of shoehorning in a reference to it. It was an amazing goal, and in fact, it's been watched like over 100,000 people now already. So, although my whole gripe is I just wish it was in a slightly more aesthetic.
I did see you tweeting about this. So, it's if anyone doesn't see it, ball comes out from sort of just outside the area, a couple of little solos, and then a Letizia-esque volley straight into the top corner.
Letizia goal against Southampton, or people talking about the Stephanie Roach
Southampton
goal. Or for Southampton against Newcastle. People even talking about the Stephanie Roach Puskas Award goal. But yeah, the ability to take the ball out of the air and then take a couple of touches and swivel on the volley, it was top class. But yeah, no, it was a hell of an effort.
The insane thing about Morrissey, unless I'm mistaken here, Morrissey's actually left-footed. He's incredibly two-footed. He got 2 goals last night from his right foot.
Amazing goal.
His second goal was, like, to my mind, was nearly every bit as good. It was the quality of the strike. Like the first goal was obviously great with the little dinks, but you just watch them there. You're like, Cork need to get this guy in shooting positions at every opportunity. He's probably the best striker of the ball. As a midfielder that there is nearly in the league, right up there with Dylan Watts or someone like that. But he gets all his goals are class.
I saw young Enda, who was obviously at the Pats Rovers game last night, bemoaning the long throws.
That was
of all the things you can pick apart.
It's just a folly of youth, John. But then a long throw created this amazing Morrissey goal.
There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the long throw. I mean, as Pat Finnan has said before, if everyone played like Man City, it'd be boring, and it would. You need different aspects to the game. You need to cause a bit of confusion.
Apart from when Ireland do it, in which case you're raging.
Yeah, but they were doing it like every minute of the game. Like, Pats do it as well. Reece McCabe, obviously, that's what Inda was bemoaning. A very effective long throw. And when Gary Shaw came on in the second half, he actually caused trouble because Rovers didn't have any aerial threat before that.
We're talking late, great late goals on the show today. The best suggestion will get 2 premium level tickets to the Republic of Ireland against Georgia. We'll figure out that over the next hour, I'm sure. One will just come through and it will be a standout.
I saw someone tweeting David Beckham against Greece.
I was just going to get to that. So Brian O'Connor says Beckham against Greece. There was something about that moment.
Because they were rubbish in that game as well. That was for a 2-2 draw, but it was for England. So you have to mark that down, don't you?
Yeah.
Where was that game played again?
Just applaud
it was Old Trafford.
I thought it was, yeah.
Was it Old Trafford?
It was.
Look, I mean, it was a great goal, but I mean,
got them to a World Cup. Noel Ryan on Twitter, greatest last-minute goal, Rivaldo against Valencia in 2000. Bicycle kick outside the box to win the game, secure Champions League football for Barca, and complete a hat-trick back when Barcelona were struggling. Imagine. My dad was at that game, sitting right behind the goal where Rivaldo scored the overhead kick.
Your dad was?
That was a decent game to go to.
It's everywhere, that man.
Just happened to be there.
Micheál Murphy.
I managed to get a ticket. Just managed to get a ticket, and turns out he gets to like the greatest Barcelona game of recent times.
What about the time you rocked up to the game in Milan and he got talking to this lad who was like Polish or Russian but knew somebody in Ballyhaunis or something, or Claremorris, like absolutely insane stuff.
Everybody knows somebody from Ballyhaunis, no matter where you go in the world.
I mean, he was in Thailand Park last night as well. He's just an all-round good guy.
That's it. Well, listen, getting to that Rivaldo goal is right up there though.
That was a great goal.
Did he flick that up for himself?
He did, as far as I recall.
Yeah. That's a contender. David Mackin, Europa League 2016, AZ Alkmaar versus 10-man Dundalk. Dundalk, a goal down 89th minute and awarded a free cick. What up next, Dan? You were there?
Kieran Kilduff stuck in a header and Johnny Ward jumped up in the press box very unprofessionally and grabbed hold of me.
Did I?
Yeah.
Don't remember that, actually.
You did? Yeah, I remember that very clearly. That was a good late goal.
First Irish club to get a point in the group stages, so it was quite a historic goal.
That was a good night.
Eamon Donovan on Twitter, best late goal, Michael Owen in the 2009 Manchester derby.
Oh yeah,
that was horrible.
Also, the winning Barcelona goal in the comeback against PSG a couple of years ago was Neymar got the very last goal. Was it? Was that right at the end? That was pretty good as well.
What about Ronaldo's overhead kick? That wasn't the last minute, was it? No. That
was just putting the game to bed. Whereas the Barca PSG was late.
Let's hope Bamford gets a very late winner for Ireland in the group stages of the qualifications.
Let's get the half-times from around the grounds in the Premier League. Start at St Mary, Southampton against Spurs, Alan Lewis.
Southampton 0, Tottenham 1. An excellent away performance from Spurs so far. Harry Kane with a couple of chances before finally getting on the score sheet from close range after 26 minutes. Christian Eriksen had also rattled the crossbar. Dele Alli had gone close, and Maya Yoshida deflected across onto his own post. Southampton, well, they've been unable to get anything going in the Tottenham half so far. Nathan Redmond with the best shot, with the best effort, shooting over the bar from distance. Half-time, Southampton 0, Tottenham 1.
So Spurs, after getting that point against Arsenal last week, trying to kick on and at least guarantee Champions League football for next season. That would be a bad result for Southampton. It could fall into the relegation zone today. Brendan Rodgers taking charge of Leicester for the first time at the King Power Stadium. They're up against Fulham. Derek Clark.
Half-time, Leicester City 1, Fulham 0. The Foxes have been dominant so far. The goal came in the 21st minute. Callum Chambers was robbed in possession in the middle of the park by Ndidi. He slipped in Jamie Vardy, who scored the ball to Tielemans, who took a touch inside before passing into an empty net. The Belgian has also had a couple of efforts saved, while Barnes and Maddison have also come close with shots. Fulham have lacked anything in attack. Half-time, Leicester City 1, Fulham 0.
So Fulham, it seems, moving a step closer to relegation, back to the Championship. As are Huddersfield, they're at home against Bournemouth today. Joe Townsend.
Huddersfield 0, Bournemouth 1. A goal from Callum Wilson in front of England boss Gareth Southgate on his return from injury is what separates the teams. He chested home at the back post after great work from Ryan Fraser down the left, and it could be helping end Bournemouth's run of 9 straight away defeats. The first half has been the story of Huddersfield's season. Lots of possession, lots of neat passing, but no chances created. They trail Bournemouth by 1-0.
Newcastle have been on a brilliant run at St James's Park over the last month or so, but it looks as though that's come to a sudden halt. They're up against Everton today. Stephen Goldsmith.
Newcastle 0, Everton 2. Terrific game of football at St James's Park. The action all started with a goal by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, heading home after getting across his marker. Then Jordan Pickford, booed heavily by the home support because of his Sunderland connections, conceded a penalty in a moment of panic, fouling Rondon after dropping the ball. He then made amends by saving the spot kick from Ritchie. Just moments later, Richarlison made it 2-0, finishing from close range. Half-time, Newcastle 0, Everton 2.
How big a day could this be for Cardiff City? Well, the next 45 minutes will tell a lot with the half-time from their match against West Ham. Sam Fleet.
Half-time, Cardiff City 1, West Ham United 0. Cardiff deserve their lead. The Hammers have been really poor, barely creating a chance other than a wild Snodgrass effort over the bar. The all-important goal came in the 4th minute. Hoylett finishing into the top corner from Murphy's low cross on the right-hand side. Nias almost added a second after Fabianski didn't collect long ball cleanly, but he saw his shot over the bar, and Murphy also saw an effort saved for Cardiff. Not a lot else other than a yellow card for Chicharito of West Ham for a comically blatant dive in the box. Half-time, Cardiff 1, West Ham 0.
So there are your half-times from the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League. Earlier, Brighton beat Crystal Palace by 2-1. In the Six Nations, Wales are inside the Scottish half and they still lead by 15 points to 11. 3 minutes left in that. Wales looking to make it 4 wins from 4, and they'll look to complete the Grand Slam against Ireland at the Millennium Stadium this day next week. So we'll have Kevin back with us hopefully in the next hour. We'll chat a bit more about Mick McCarthy's Ireland squad. We'll talk about late goals as well. A contender for best late injury time winner has to be Darragh Leahy for Bows against Rovers in Tala. Won the game in the 9th minute of injury time.
That was good. Yeah, that was a good goal.
Have Rovers scored a late goal to win against Bows?
Well, Gary Twigg was one I referenced.
Oh yeah, so we're going to get that back. So you don't need to text us for that.
There's been quite a few.
You have to
of the divide.
Of the divide.
1979 FA Cup final. Liam Brady's cross.
Who got the goal?
Alan Sunderland's header.
Sunderland. I was going to say was that 3-2?
Was that a last minute?
Was it 2-0, 2-2, and then 3-2?
Maybe that was it. Because it was before I was born, you only ever see the goals.
I think I would have watched it a lot when they had the old 4-hour build-up to the FA Cup final in our youth, and they go through all the old ones.
Well, speaking of the FA Cup final, Steven Gerrard against West Ham.
Yeah,
got to be up there.
A hell of a did you ever net a last minute?
It's not a winner.
That
wasn't the winner.
Sent
it to extra time penalties.
Did you ever net a last minute goal yourself in your football days? Either of you? You'd be a bit of a poacher then.
I mean, in Astro on a Wednesday, I have a couple of times.
By poacher, he means lazy.
Sadly, like 3 or 4 of them were on the way to work at the time and they were leaving.
I presume Johnny asked that question because he's teeing it up for us to ask him.
I did not score goals.
No, Johnny would have assisted. An assist for an assist. That'll be your thing.
Must be some feeling. We'll never know.
No,
we'll never know.
Yeah,
we'll
I was normally substituted long before the 90th minute.
A Jack Byrne style reaction.
No, I was too tired.
Okay. Jack Byrne he's nothing but entertaining anyway. And a lot of the time, it doesn't involve him actually having the football. He's a very entertaining guy.
Like yourself, John. He's a bit unpredictable.
I'm not like Jack Byrne.
He's entertaining, but not in the way he should be.
Yeah, exactly. It's there's similarities there. Yeah.
All right, quick break.
Let's go to the ads.
Join the conversation on Facebook and Twitter.
Can I get a receipt? Yep.
This is it. After years have been rolled up within an inch of my life, it's finally happening. I'm free!
There you go.
What? Oh, you might have me for a minute, buddy, but not for long. Where's it gonna be? The wallet? The bag? Or the pocket, eh? There's your first mistake. This won't hold me for long, pal.
Receipts have a mind of their own. Go paperless and manage your travel expenses online with My Taxi Business. Make the smarter choice at mytaxi.com.
Druids Glen Hotel and Golf Resort, County Wicklow. 2 unique courses, Druids Glen and Druids Heath. 1 fantastic festival of golf. With open competitions running from the 18th to the 29th of March, we're not playing around, but you should. Book your tee time now. Visit druidsglenresort.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Because Nissan's Great 191 offers must end March 31st, including Nissan's 2-for-1 offer. Buy a selected 191 Nissan and exchange it for a 201 Nissan for free. Or Nissan's low-rate PCP finance offer. Or get up to €5,500 scrappage allowance. But hurry, offers end March 31st. Search Nissan offers to find out more. Terms and conditions apply. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Dreaming of a sunny beach break? Fly Air Arabia direct to Agadir, Morocco's premier sun destination. Flights from Dublin start at €59 one way, including taxes. Book at airarabia.com. Air Arabia, where next? T's and C's apply.
These are uncertain times. With Brexit looming large, there are still no guarantees about how things will pan out. But one thing is for sure, Irish business owners will rise to the challenge. They'll continue to create jobs and drive our economy forward. And Linked Finance will be here to help. Whether Brexit impacts your business or not, we can provide the capital needed to overcome any obstacle or seize any opportunity. For business loans of up to €300,000 in just 24 hours, apply now at linkedfinance.com.
If you've had a mortgage for years, or you're a first-time buyer, why pay more for mortgage protection than you have to? VHI now offer cover from as little as €7.58 per month. It's easy to set up or switch over the phone. Call us on 1890 444444 or search VHI Mortgage Protection. €7.58 per month is based on a 30-year-old non-smoker for a 20-year term and mortgage protection of €158,000, including a 10% customer discount and a 1% insurance levy. Terms and conditions apply. VHI Healthcare DAC, trading as VHI Healthcare, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland and is tied to Zurich Life Assurance plc for VHI Mortgage Protection.
It's the big brand event at Curry's PC World. Save up to €100 on Hotpoint appliances, like an electric single oven now $239, an 8-kilo wash machine just $329, and the 9-kilo condenser tumble dryer just $279. Plus free delivery on all large Hotpoint kitchen appliances. Big brand savings continue across TVs. There's up to €280 off Samsung curved large screen TVs or a Sony 49-inch smart 4K TV from just $649. At Curry's PC World, we help you get it right. T's and C's apply.
At Centra, we have great offers in store, like Centra Fresh Irish diced beef 410 gram, only €3. Nestle multigrain Cheerios 600 gram, half price now €2.34. And Oyster Bay Sauvignon Blanc was $14.99, now just €10. Centra, live every day. Enjoy cost sensibly.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Because Nissan's Great 191 offers must end March 31st, including Nissan's 2-for-1 offer. Buy a selected 191 Nissan and exchange it for a 201 Nissan for free. Or Nissan's low-rate PCP finance offer. Or get up to €5,500 scrappage allowance. But hurry, offers end March 31st. Search Nissan offers to find out more. Terms and conditions apply. Nissan, innovation that excites.
In the Irish Times weekend, Conor Pope considers how Brexit could change what you buy online and what it costs. In an exclusive extract from her new book, Married to Alzheimer's, Steph Booth reflects on life with and without her husband Tony, who died in 2017. And in sport, Jerry Thornley speaks to Ireland's honorary Frenchman, Trevor Brennan, ahead of the game against France. The Irish Times Weekend. Your weekend's in good hands.
Come on, you got it! Keep it up! Go, go, go!
Cheltenham. Get into it with the Bruce Betting app, giving you more. Please gamble responsibly. See dunlewy.net.
Calling stakeholders in the Irish construction industry. The National Construction Summit takes place on March 14th at City West. Hear about Project Ireland 2040, design and planning, house building, health and safety, data centres, engineering, smart and green building and careers in construction. 3,000 visitors, 200 exhibitors, 150 speakers. Register free at nationalconstructionsummit.ie.
Across Ireland on 106 to 108 FM and at newstalk.com. This is News Talk.
Good afternoon, I'm Adrian Harmon. Diplomatic efforts are set to be made in the coming days to establish the status of an Irish woman held in Syria. The ex-member of the Irish Defence Forces was detained by US forces in the country in recent days. The woman travelled to Syria in 2015 and is being held at a camp with her 2-year-old son. Group political editor with Independent News and Media, Kevin Doyle, outlines what's known about the woman being held.
This woman, Lisa Smith, she's 37 years old and from Dundalk. Has been captured in a refugee camp, essentially, in northern Syria. But her background is almost unbelievable. She's a former member of the Defence Forces. She spent 5 years as a soldier before working on the government jet as part of the Air Corps.
The British don't want to own up to their crimes during the Troubles. That's according to the son of murdered Belfast solicitor Pat Finucane, who was shot dead by loyalists in 1989. Michael Finucane has also called for the Northern Ireland Secretary to resign following comments that killings by security personnel during the Troubles were not crimes. He says that the British must take responsibility for their actions.
I don't think the British want to own up to their crimes. They see that as an acknowledgement somehow that they're no better than the people that they would talk down all day long.
A man and a woman have been arrested after a drug seizure in County Meath. Herbal cannabis, ecstasy tablets, cocaine and diamorphine worth €690,000 were found following a search of a house at Talton Drive in Navan at around 9:30 last night. Local Gardaí, assisted by regional armed support units, were involved in the operation. A man aged in his early 50s and woman in her late 30s were arrested and taken to Kells Garda Station. And detectives investigating the death of 3 people in Newry have officially identified the 38-year-old man. Russell Steele, who was originally from Scotland, was found dead at a property in Glenree Court on Thursday. 15-year-old Alison Merriman Herrera was strangled to death. Police say there's a strong possibility her mother, 37-year-old Giselle Merriman Herrera, was also strangled. The murder investigation continues and police say they aren't looking for anyone else in relation to the case. That's it for now. More in an hour.
News Talk Weather.
Thanks to Des Kelly Interiors, supplying and fitting your new wood floor, hassle-free. DesKelly.ie.
Dry in many parts with a few showers in the west and north, but rain will move in over Munster and South Connacht. Highs of 7 to 10 degrees, coldest over Ulster. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
Welcome back.
Some highbrow stuff off air there.
There's nothing you like better than hearing an in-joke, you know, when you're on the radio. Yeah. But you're going for a meal in Dax tonight, but Dax is also a hair product. That's the joke.
That was basically the ad break right there.
That was the ad break. Yeah, you have the boat. You're going for a meal.
Johnny was suggesting we go on a double date. I don't know if I want to introduce my wife to Johnny.
No, I mean, it could be strange, to be honest. Johnny's looking at me with piercing eyes here now.
I get on really well with other people's women. I mean that.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he does.
Okay,
yeah.
But it also stretches to their mothers as well, and you know.
It's a Ted Walsh line coming up here, is there?
Yeah. How are you? You've a bit of Cheltenham yourself next week. You've a bit of
tomorrow. Well, not really. No. This is the worst Cheltenham experience anyone's ever going to have.
Yeah.
So as I think I mentioned on Thursday night, we're doing a show live tomorrow night from the Centaur.
Centaur, yeah. There was one on during the week.
It's a big place, the Centaur.
Tell me about the Centaur.
It's bang in the middle of the track, big auditorium.
What do you mean bang in the middle of the track?
It's actually at the racecourse.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not quite like you're not going to be next to a fence. Like I mean, in the middle of the
indoor,
enclosure.
is it?
Of the enclosure.
Cheltenham is actually a lovely town, though. It shouldn't be underestimated how, and the villages around it. It's rural England at its most beautiful.
Cotswolds,
yeah. So enjoy, and if you need any hints as to what to ask, don't be looking at me.
Really?
You can discuss it over dinner later on.
Okay, exactly.
Johnny will be too busy talking to your missus, actually, but still.
still. And any questions for Paul Nicholls or Richard Johnson or Kate Harrington?
I'll give you some Paul Nicholls material.
You did?
Is it read up in his autobiography? His hot tub.
I have been reading
Say no more.
Hot tub.
Have you read about Paul Nicholls' hot tub?
Said that was not for broadcast.
I'm sure
it is. It's in his book. It's on the airwaves. Just Google Paul Nicholls' hot tub there.
There's a bit of advice for your
Norwegian
Saturday
hot tub. Yeah.
Best of luck to all the Irish anyway over there, and Willie and Gordon could give us a very good week. Probably not as good as last year, though. I don't think we're going to have as many winners.
Have you got one hot tip for us? Did you give it last night on Friday Night Racing?
Sir Eric in the Triumph Hurdle.
Even money there.
Tony McCoy, who we'll be hearing from him in about an hour. Sir Eric was also his hot tip for the week.
Yeah. He looks absolutely bulletproof, but he had a small stone bruise 2 days ago, which if it had happened a day or two before the race, he would have been screwed, but he's fine. And I honestly think if you're to have one bet, and I'm not suggesting you should have one bet, you should have a lot more than that. But if you are to have one bet in Cheltenham, make it Sir Eric. Would you agree, Dan?
Or you could just not have a bet. It's up to yourself.
Yeah, it's an optional thing. Some people might be recreationally looking for a bigger price bet though as well.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
An even money shot is a lot to
float their boat.
Is not something you're only waiting all week for.
Double it up with Shamrock Rovers to win the league.
Because he went to see them last night and they won the game.
Yeah, the Dock did beat Water for 4-0 last night.
Turned into a 2-horse race, I think.
There's been a goal at the King Power. Leicester against Fulham. Derek Clark.
City 1, Fulham 1. The Cottagers back on level terms. It's the substitute Floyd Aiti on at half-time for Ryan Sessegnon. He cut inside Bell Chilwell over on the right-hand side. He then cut inside Harry Maguire before firing a left-footed shot towards goal. It deflected off Maguire, bounced up over Kasper Schmeichel and into the back of the net. Leicester 1, Fulham 1.
Wales have beaten Scotland 15 points to 11. 13 wins in a row for Wales, their longest streak in Test history. And they will be going for the Grand Slam and the Championship when they play Ireland at the Millennium Stadium next Saturday. England against Italy is up next in the Six Nations. That gets underway in around about half an hour from now. We'll hopefully get Kev back at some stage because he was mid-flight from Patrick Bamford.
Yeah, his Wi-Fi's gone down. I mean, he's in Manchester.
It's our problem.
He's not in.
It's our side.
Oh,
our best technical people are looking into it.
Where do you stand on it, by the way? Like, are you more towards Kev? Are you more towards ambivalent? Are you more towards we need the player because we don't have goal scorers?
I would love to be in a situation where we could select players who desperately want to play for Ireland and who dreamed of playing for Ireland like we did when we were growing up. But the way of the world is, the rules are this, everybody else goes by it. Are we going to take some sort of high moral ground and lose out because of it?
It's also his grandfather. It's a fairly, like, it's not like he was... It's not like Kev's very, very Irish upbringing. I can imagine he had a very English upbringing with an Irish grandfather.
Like, that's the problem with this. You can't...
It's the rules. Like,
go back. Nathan Redmond had a very English upbringing, but his mother was born in Dublin and
his mother is...
Dublin.
He's more Irish in terms of his... But, like, does anyone really care? Like, we've had 10 years now of crap and we just want to score goals and be good to watch again. Like, I don't care anyway. Maybe people do.
I don't think people... maybe I'm wrong and people can let us know on 53106. I don't think Irish fans care about how Irish you feel you are. What they do care about is, I can't meet you this week, Mick.
Yeah.
They care about the sort of attitude of, we'll see what happens. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Yeah, that annoys people. I think it annoys other players too as well. I think it does. You know, and I know we have short memories, and the bigger picture is that you want Ireland to qualify for tournaments because it's good for the game and it's important for the game here. So that probably is the bigger picture. And you know, sometimes as well, while players themselves may not feel it, it's different to a project player. Like our country's history is inextricably linked with emigration and people heading off to sort of faraway climes, you know, at that time by necessity rather than sort of just getting out of here for the sake of it. So while, you know, their kids or their grandkids may not feel the way that they do, in some ways you can spin it positively and say, well, they are still reflecting a bit of that past. So
we can't really pick and choose the diaspora.
No, diaspora. I mean, this is Ireland. This is our story. This is our contribution. And as we've said before many times here, we're going to face probably the alternative side of this equation with players from communities here who possibly don't feel, you know, they're at an early stage in terms of being planted here or moving here, and they may not feel as welcomed as they possibly should. And
that's a very interesting point.
And that may lead to times in the future where, you know, they don't play for Ireland, but we may also need to a time 50 years from now where they'll have people disappointed in them playing for Ireland because they grow up and they feel Irish, you know. So like that's
we went from being a poor country to a very wealthy country, and like the immigration has probably swung the other way, and in years to come it'll be like Dan says, like, and you do see that if you travel to your Irish American cousins or you go to England, they're basically the Irish diaspora, they've basically just become American, and it's just not. It's not there like it used to be anymore, and there will be a big sea change. But I think all the people who've come over here from different countries and now have Irish kids, I think it's going to massively benefit us. And you can just see across the League of Ireland now the amount of, you know, mixed race kids, and I think it's over a massive positive for football in this country.
Are you trying to big up Patrick Bamford so when he declares for Ireland we can say we beat England to the punch? He's 25, he scored 7 goals in the Championship. Do you really think Southgate is knocking down his door considering the forward talent that England have playing at Champions League and Premier League level?
He's playing one of the best leagues in the world. Like the Championships is a very good league, and his actual goals per game tally isn't that bad, and he's quite young. If he were a horse, he'd be lightly raced, and he's probably the best option we have on paper at the moment.
Well, actually, and to be fair, like I don't think we'll be calling it as a triumph to beat off England. I don't think anyone will be doing that. But I mean, earlier in the show, we did hear from a reporter about Gareth Southgate watching Callum Wilson today. Where was Callum Wilson at maybe 2 years ago? I mean, England have Harry Kane. Who were the other sort of outstanding English strikers? Rashford, okay. I mean, he's a pretty good player.
Raheem Sterling.
Okay, but I talk about the number nines. Like, I'm just saying in the last
Glenn Murray was been linked with a potential call up.
The last 3-4 years, you've had, you know, or back 5-6 years, you've had Ricky Lambert, and you've had a variety of other players. So
it's not beyond the realms of possibility that Patrick Bamford scores 7 goals before Christmas in the Premier League next season. And if he does,
if he did, he would be in the equation. So if he commits to Ireland before then, it would still be.
He's 25 as well. It's not like he's a kid.
Yeah, but I know. But like lads are getting capped later now. Honestly, I mean, I think that's not reflective of the reality of where England are at to say that they're not letting anyone go easily. Now that's why they fought for Bamford initially at underage level when he did play for Ireland.
Big goal at the Cardiff City Stadium. It's Cardiff against West Ham. Let's hear about it from Sam Fleet.
It's Cardiff City 2, West Ham United 0. Hoylett's cross on the left-hand side found Murphy, his header back, and Camarasa scored from close range. It's Cardiff 2, West Ham 0.
That could be huge for Cardiff, particularly with Southampton still losing at home against Spurs. Let's get the latest on that game then at St Mary's. Alan Lewis.
Southampton 0, Tottenham 1. Harry Kane's first half strike giving Tottenham a deserved lead in this one. The England striker almost had a second early on in this second half, doing really well to push his way past 2 men and then firing off a shot that was brilliantly saved by Angus Gunn in the Southampton goal. At the other end, Nathan Redmond had a chance that he fired into the side netting. Southampton bringing on Shane Long and Josh Sims at half-time to try and get back into this one. Southampton 0, Tottenham 1.
Shane Long then on for the last half an hour. It's going to be one of the decisions Mick McCarthy has to make.
Got a mention actually, Shane Long. It really hasn't been mentioned in the McCarthy.
The one striker we have playing at Premier League level.
No, I say that McCarthy hasn't been asked about him either. I mean, I haven't been in all the press conferences. Maybe he's been asked about it and stuff I haven't been sitting in on. But we're always talking about McGoldrick and Maguire and. Okay, the Bamford stuff, he's not round this time, but other strikers, Amond, James Collins, etc. I mean, Long is the one that you would think would be the starter.
But I think we touched on this on Thursday night, that
you'd wonder.
The way Mick was talking in a roundabout way about Collins and Amond and the amount of goals that they're scoring, he was sort of going with strikers in form is what you want. So therefore you would imagine that maybe Long might lose out to Maguire.
Maguire has to be odds on to start.
In that
surely.
Maguire's playing every game at the moment, though he's not scoring a huge amount of goals.
I was just going to say, I mean, Maguire's, now he hasn't been playing through the middle that much, but his goal record this season actually it just doesn't read well on paper. There's very good explanations for it, but still, he's not exactly sort of bashing them in either.
Let's just check in on the Scottish Premiership, where it is still scoreless in the game between Celtic and Aberdeen. Last night, Hibernian held Rangers to a 1-1 draw in the Scottish Premiership, but yet again, same old problems in the Scottish Premiership. I don't know if you saw this.
I didn't know.
One of the Rangers players was not attacked. Is it too strong? I don't know if did you see this, Johnny?
No.
He went over to take a throw in, and as he was doing so in front of the Hibernian supporters, a Hibernian fan jumps out of the stand, kicks the ball away in front of him, has a little push at the Rangers player. Obviously, the Hibernian, it's not the first time they've had issues at Hibernian over the last few weeks, and feeds into what Stephen Gerrard was saying. Like, it's doing huge damage to Scottish football.
Yeah.
Did Gerrard speak strongly about it afterwards?
No, Gerrard...
It certainly didn't after the last incident.
No. Gerrard during the week had spoken about the incident, saying how much damage it's doing to the reputation of Scottish football. Hibernian came out and were outraged and said they're going to take strongest possible action. Gerrard, in a very strange interview, was asked pitchside by Sky, what are your thoughts on the incident? What are you talking about? First I've heard of it. First I've heard of this.
He was actually in the dugout for the game, though.
He was.
And it was the guy who interrupted his player taking a throw?
Exactly. So
that's worse than me not seeing what happened in the dugout.
Whether or not he decided that this was the best way forward, I guess we'll find out. But Celtic still scoreless against Aberdeen. Let's see what's happening at St James's Park. Newcastle, Everton, Stephen Goldsmith.
Newcastle 0, Everton 2. First half goals by Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have the visitors in control here. Rafa Benitez has switched to 4 at the back and brought Almiron central to try and force a way back into the game. The big chance this half was for them when Jordan Pickford was chipped by Rondon as he come rushing out of his goal, but the ball trickled just wide. He's already conceded and saved a penalty, Pickford. He's certainly the focus of attention here today. Newcastle 0, Everton 2.
I should mention that if for Liverpool fans, Bayern are 6-0 up against Wolfsburg at the 3 o'clock kickoff, I presume.
It is a full time actually in that game. Borussia Dortmund are 3-1 up in their game against Stuttgart, so they'll stay just about on top of the Bundesliga. So yes, Bayern Munich 6-0 winners. 2 for Robert Lewandowski, 1 for Serge Gnabry, 1 for James Rodriguez, Thomas Muller and Joshua Kimmich. So,
you got to fear for Liverpool. You really do after the first leg.
Why?
I know they didn't concede a goal, so obviously 1-1 will do them, but I don't think they're playing well enough at the moment to go there with much confidence, particularly their front three.
Well, Bayern Munich just won 6-0. 10 days ago, Liverpool won 5-0.
They did, but yeah, they're probably fairer judged on the games that actually against reasonable teams this season. I know.
But are Bayern Munich
so the
not
Munich
fair?
result then doesn't matter at all then?
Sorry, they barely created a chance in the game.
No, but the fact of winning 6-0 today doesn't really...
Oh, no, sorry. I'm just saying in terms of Liverpool, I would worry for them big time.
Latest scores in the Premier League. We'll go to Huddersfield actually, see what's happening there in their match with Bournemouth. Joe Townsend.
Huddersfield 0, Bournemouth 1. Huddersfield have come out and given it a real go since the break, but still haven't created a chance. Bournemouth look the most likely to score again. Josh King's twice put very dangerous low crosses in that almost were turned home by goal scorer Callum Wilson. The first was superbly cut out by Huddersfield defender Matthias Jorgensen. It's Huddersfield 0, Bournemouth 1.
Elsewhere in the Premier League, it's Newcastle 0, Everton 2. Spurs are 1-0 up away at Southampton. Cardiff could be a huge afternoon for them, leading West Ham by 2-0. Right now, Cardiff are out of the relegation zone, and it's 1-1 in the game between Leicester and Fulham. In the Championship, Leeds United still 1-0 up away against Bristol City. Bolton 2-0 up at home against Millwall. All sorts going on off the pitch at Bolton at the moment. 1-1 between Derby and Sheffield Wednesday. Middlesbrough 1-0 up against Brentford. Scoreless between Forest and Hull. And in the game between QPR and Stoke, it's Reading 1, Wigan 1, and it's also 1-1 between West Brom and Ipswich Town. We're giving away a couple of premium level tickets to the Republic of Ireland against Georgia all afternoon. All you need to do is tell us your favourite late goal. It needs to be injury time at the very, very least. That's the one rule we have.
Was Michael Thomas injury time with the 89th minute?
That's a great question.
I thought it was
89th minute.
Yeah. After 88, I think.
you're
I'm
revising the
just
rules.
completely changing it. Yeah.
Change the terms and conditions.
Arsenal had to win that by 2 goals as well, didn't they?
Yes.
That was an insane manner. Yeah,
It's a great story. Although I mean,
they ended up playing for Liverpool.
yeah, I've always
Scored a great FA Cup final goal.
It's an amazing
Against
story.
Sunderland,
although-
is it?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it was a couple of weeks after Hillsborough and stuff, wasn't it? The season was delayed off the back of that. You know, it's you always think, you know, obviously the stress that the Liverpool players have been through.
Oh, well, we were all probably of a similar age at that time, and you're just getting into football, and you don't really put time together. Like when you think about that happens 6 weeks after Hillsborough. Look, at that stage, maybe you can put football into context pretty quickly, but also you have an all Merseyside FA Cup final at the same time. Like it's just a remarkable period of time on Merseyside, obviously. I think that for a certain generation, Michael Thomas's goal was always the one, and then Sergio Aguero's maybe. But I guess the difference is that Michael Thomas' goal was Liverpool against Arsenal. It was the top
against
two
the other,
against the opposition. It's not as Anfield.
Whereas QPR, I mean, the one thing about the Aguero thing, because QPR obviously 2-1 up, and then they got the equaliser, and from the tip, QPR just belted the ball as far away as they possibly could. Like QPR were like mannequins, that they were there to play they were just there, they were extras, and they contributed to the whole thing.
At the time though, Queen's Park Rangers weren't safe.
They still belted the ball away though. I mean,
but the results elsewhere meant that they were safe.
Are they just trying to basically not concede?
They must have known at that stage.
They must have known at that stage, yeah.
They definitely didn't have any real stake in the game at that stage.
Ben Watson's goal for Wigan against Manchester City in the 2013 FA Cup final.
That wasn't 90 minutes.
Last minute? Yeah, that was a last minute winner.
FA Cup final doesn't really matter, unfortunately.
Oh no, I remember that. That was
Wigan against Man City.
Yeah, but
did that game go to extra time? No.
Was it a last minute and extra time winner?
I'm trying to think. I remember
the fact that you can't remember says all you need to know about the FA Cup. It's only 6 years ago.
Oof. The Jimmy Glass goal for Carlisle against Plymouth.
Yes.
Last minute of the game, Carlisle needed to win. Glass, who was a late loan deal as a goalkeeper, came up from the corner, headed the winner to keep Carlisle in the Football League. Amazing.
John O'Shea's goal in Gelsenkirchen was pretty good.
Oh yeah. I watched that in Iran.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
I did.
Did you get a stream for it, or was it on Iranian state TV?
Actually, remarkably, it was on TV somehow. Yeah, I remember watching that.
Was that what your mates?
It was an incredible result when you think about it.
I guess you're looking for the goal that made you jump highest off your seat when you were watching.
Stan Collymores.
Robbie and Ibaraki.
Oh, Robbie.
Yeah,
Robbie's
incredible.
Robbie. I mean, for that, but then there's a generational thing to that as well. You know, that was a lazy summer for us, I'm guessing.
Martin, we've all experienced this, Martin, as well. It depends on who you're around as to how much you enjoyed, I guess. Lads, I won the World Cup with Ireland on FIFA 98, scoring a goal in the 97th minute against Germany. There's nothing sweeter than that.
The 97th minute was actually the 4th minute. That's why 4 minutes aside.
Oh, that's true.
You didn't actually have 96 minutes.
We'll try and ruin Martin's moment.
You didn't have 96 minutes of hardship before that.
Ruin Martin's moment. Ben Watson goal was the 91st minute. So it does qualify.
Oh.
I don't know if it's going to get you the tickets though. Again, another Kevin Foley entrant. Correct sport this time though. Mark Hughes against Oldham in the 94 Cup semi-final. No dynasty without that goal. However, for context, it's hard to beat the Gross
94. Goal, yeah. No, was it 94 or 91?
Aaron might just get the tickets because he spent half the day thinking about
Forced to replay, didn't it?
Was it not 91 that goal rather than 94?
No, it was more recent than that. It wouldn't have been 91.
1990.
No. It was like 94. It was about 94. Yeah, I remember it quite well.
I remember the goal. Yeah, maybe.
What was the 90? The 90 semi-finals were Palace against Liverpool.
Yeah.
And United against
Oldham.
Was that Mark Hughes' goal?
No, 94. Hughes was later than that. It definitely wasn't 1990.
Grosso's winner in the World Cup semi-final, and that was such a good finish.
Yeah.
A great name.
Was that for what score did that make it though?
Was it 2-1?
Yeah. It was 2-0 or 2-1. Yeah.
Rivaldo is a git for his dive in 0-2 though. So he wants to rule him out on that.
Yeah.
Sean Maguire on Twitter. I don't know if it's the...
He would have been playing today.
So he could be on the bus on the way home and they've got all the lads tuned in. He said, you should tune into the show. They spend a weird amount of time talking about Preston every Saturday.
And Kilbane's on, yeah.
It's bizarre.
He
exactly.
Was on, yeah.
Paul Stalteri, Upton Park for Spurs 4-3 win, coming back from 3-0 down after half-time. Paul Stalteri, whatever happened to him. Makeda for United against Villa.
Oh, yeah. Where is he now? He's probably still 28.
That'd be up there, if even. If even. Well, that's 10 years ago. Yeah.
It's 28 or so.
Yeah, 28.
He's playing somewhere. He's probably off in...
Also a follow-up on the Aguero last-minute winning goal. Mario Balotelli's one and only assist in the Premier League.
Oh, that's a good stat, yeah. What about Balotelli's goal celebration during the week?
Oh, did you like that with the Instagram?
He went live on Instagram. He gave his phone to a photographer behind the goal.
Oh my God.
And then he scored the goal, took the phone off him, and then clicked through and did you see this, no?
I thought it was nice to see Balotelli smiling.
Yeah.
He looked genuinely happy. He was delighted with himself.
But I'm just wondering how many games has he been doing this for?
The whole thing.
Like, does he have several phones?
Your man is thinking, maybe I can keep this phone now.
Yeah, like, I assume he would have had it logged in. Or is it like, you know, the tennis player changes ends and he gives his towel to the ball? Like at half time, would Balotelli have had to go around, take the phone and give it to a photographer behind the other goal?
We're just short of people now being like just about to get married. They're up at the altar and they're like, hang on. Just want to change my Facebook status update to married here.
Oh, people definitely do that.
Probably already
I'd
do.
be shocked if people don't do that.
You'll be at that.
I'm not on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. You're on Instagram now. Award-winning media.
Yeah, not on Facebook.
Award-winning media.
Pictures of food.
Wow.
Social media is making, you know, idiots of us all, I would argue. But there we are.
Or confirming us as all idiots. That's one of
St James's Park, Newcastle Everton. There's been a goal. Stephen Goldsmith.
Newcastle 1, Everton 2, and the home side are back in this game. A great team goal by Newcastle. This started with a back heel from Matt Ritchie in the middle of the park to put Newcastle on their way, and then a great bit of interchanging between Rondon and Perez, resulting in Rondon firing past Jordan Pickford in the Everton goal. It's now Newcastle 1, Everton 2.
And it's at that stage I think we're going to be working out when exactly Huddersfield are going to be relegated, because they conceded again at home against Bournemouth. Joe Townsend.
Huddersfield 0, Bournemouth 2. Ryan Fraser with the breakthrough. Another brilliant sweeping move on the counter-attack from Bournemouth. It was Callum Wilson whose turn provider this time, pulling the ball across to the penalty spot for Fraser to arrive and fire into the bottom corner. No way back for the Premier League's bottom club now, you wouldn't think. Huddersfield 0, Bournemouth 2.
Federico Makeda is just 27. Playing for Panathinaikos.
Oh, okay.
He's been there since the start of last season.
Oh, that's not so bad.
It's an okay level.
Yeah.
Lots of shouts for Stephen Gerrard in the FA Cup final. You see, it wasn't a winner. It wasn't
Great
a match
goal,
winner.
though. Great strike.
It was an unbelievable goal. And it was unexpected.
And you got to see Alan Pardew's heartbreak as well.
Which is added bonus.
Added bonus. Yeah.
Absolute added bonus. Czech Tiote against Arsenal. Again, wasn't a winner.
Yeah,
4-4 draw, 4-0 down, back to 4-4.
The late Czech Tiote as well. It's tragic, yeah.
It's terrible. Robbie Keane against Germany, John O'Shea against Germany. We've had a lot of good moments against Germany.
Shane Long.
Well, Shane Long was 72nd minute or something, so yeah.
Arsenal led 2-0 in that cup final in the first half.
That's Shane Long's last goal for Ireland, actually.
No, he scored against Moldova.
McQueen scored what seemed like a late consolation. Then Sammy McIlroy gets a brilliant leveller before Alan Sunderland wins it late on.
So it was 2-0, 2-all.
Exactly,
yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
I'd say for an older generation, that was the best cup final ever.
And we can't remember the 2013 details, but you remember 79 before we were born.
What does it say, Johnny?
Garrod Morrissey has clarified, by the way, that he's actually right-footed, which just shows how much I know. But
did he tell you?
He did. He did. Because I just wanted to clarify that.
It's live radio. That's the power of Johnny Ward.
It's not that he's listening.
No, I messaged him and I said, sorry, can I just clarify whether you're left
you
or
never
right?
said that. I presumed he had been listening and just text in.
Yeah.
No.
That's disappointing.
You're in it, John.
No,
That's
but in fairness, we do, you know, foist a lot of League of Ireland on people on a Saturday at 3 o'clock, whether they like it or not. I mean, we had a lad given out last week that, like, do I turn every single conversation into a League of Ireland conversation? I make no apologies.
No. And that actually did come out of nowhere there as well, to be fair. As if to make the point.
I literally asked you a question about something completely different.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's just part of the conversation on a Saturday afternoon. It's fine.
Part of the discussion. A lot of people going to games now.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't need to be a specific segment.
No, definitely
just
not.
Chat about it naturally.
We are for all men.
The discussion.
Dennis Bergkamp's goal against Argentina in the quarter-final of the 98 World Cup. Brilliant goal, brilliant pass from Frank de Boer.
Don't think it was that late,
Bergkamp's goal against Leicester, the famous Bergkamp goal against Leicester, was late. That was to me my favourite Bergkamp goal.
It's got to be the Newcastle one, Dan. It's got to be like the
one against Leicester when he
Leicester one was good.
Takes it out of the sky. That was late.
Yeah.
If he meant the Newcastle
none of
one.
these goals though strike me as there's goals that you think instantly that was a late winner.
Yeah. I don't think the Leicester one was mad late.
Strike me as that. Was the Dutch goal against Argentina?
I don't think that was late.
I wouldn't have thought it was a injury time winner.
Was that an extra time? Was it?
You see, it can't be extra time. It needs to be injury time in normal time or extra time, unless it's Michael Thomas's goal, which we're going to let enter.
Yeah.
Just because it's the 89th minute.
Did Bergkamp mean his flick against Newcastle?
There was less injury time in those days.
Yes.
He definitely meant to do that.
Yes. I like to believe that every moment of genius from unbelievably talented players, they mean to do it.
I think
otherwise,
he did.
What's the point?
if he did, it was the best ever.
Stephen Cooney on YouTube talking about late goals. Watched Losers last night on Netflix. There's a great story about a Torquay player getting bitten by a dog in a game, followed by a late goal that prevented the club from going under. What's Losers on Netflix? Have you seen this?
I'm sure the Mighty Ducks got a few late goals in their time as well.
James Lyons on YouTube. John O'Shea's winner against Liverpool. There's a lot of Man United fans. They're back. The United fans are back. They are texting in en masse. Robin Van Persie's free kick in the last minute against Manchester City in 2013.
It's only a matter of time before they start referring to themselves as long-suffering Manchester United fans, like all the boring Liverpool fans of a certain age.
Bergkamp's third goal was stoppage time.
In Filbert Street.
Against Leicester, yeah, there you go.
Brian Steen's last minute winner for Luton, set up by Dubliner Ashley Grimes against Arsenal in the 1987 League Cup final from Patrick and Dublin.
I think it had something when there's a certain silence apart from the cheers from the away end. It's like the
shock,
the screams of disappointed home. Even the Morrissey goal last night. There's a couple of like gasps and howls, like you know.
You can hear Ollie Horgan probably as well if you listen hard enough.
Grosso got the first. Del Piero got the second. The match later. Italy 2-0. Oldham was 94. Thanks to Aaron, Aaron's basically our researcher for the afternoon.
Thanks,
He
Aaron,
admits himself that
what's he doing next Saturday?
He's rather idle.
Johnny, you won't be here next Saturday, of course.
Aaron, come on in.
United beat them in the 90 semi-final as well, though. Gary Mackay for Scotland against Bulgaria changed the path of Irish soccer forever.
Yeah.
That was an 87.
No, that wasn't 90. Yeah, it wasn't 90.
The old grainy footage.
George Hamilton.
Yeah.
But you know, it was the only sport on TV that day in Ireland was that game.
Wow.
That was the only sport on TV that day. I went looking, because at the end though we had a Sports Star Awards before
Would you have
Christmas.
expected to have been more?
I don't know, you just remember like how big any sport on TV used to be. So across the 4 channels you'd had, like I looked across the screenings that day.
Including BBC, like?
BBC, and the only sport that was on across any of the channels was Bulgaria, Ireland. I think like you had Brookside and you had all the other sort of staples of the day, but there was no like,
Yugoslavia were playing the same night against somebody, and we didn't get that.
That was
didn't get that.
No.
It's like Tangent. Do you remember the games on Lansdowne Road before the lights came in? I was just talking to
Wednesday afternoon.
So we'd be in school.
From school,
and like
we'd on the telly.
Our principal, like our principal, we still call him the master, even though like you know I've left school like 24 years ago now. We still call him the master because that's just that's just the role he had over us. But he'd be like, he was really stern and all, because anyway, we're going to wheel in the TV now and watch Ireland play Denmark or whatever.
Oh yeah, like, they'd be blackmailing you all day.
Yeah,
to try and keep you quiet before the match. But then, was it not a case though sometimes you'd only get the first half maybe in school
and then you go home for the second?
And then you'd have to go home and you'd listen to Gabriel Egan on commentary in the car on the way home. The only time you'd ever listen to Radio 1.
You must have finished earlier out west. I think I remember the 2 halves.
Oh really?
I think so, yeah.
Sure, Micheál Murphy could have swung
what
at that.
What time would kick-offs have been?
That's what I'm wondering. Was it a 2 o'clock or a 3 o'clock?
I think it could have been 2 o'clock. Wouldn't that tally, because you finish school at 3 and you're home for the second half?
Yeah, that does sort of work out. There's been another goal to King Power. Leicester against Fulham. Derek Clark.
Leicester City 2, Fulham 1, and it's Jamie Vardy with his 100th goal for the Foxes. It was James Maddison's superb pass. He beat the offside trap. Vardy, he simply took a touch before rifling into the corner of the net. It's Leicester City 2, Fulham 1.
My mate Johnner scored in the last minute Astro Park League to win 17-16 from Martin.
Johnner.
There is nothing more spectacular than your game of 5 aside and its next goal wins.
Yeah. Well, when it's actually not. I assume that wasn't next goal wins. That was just the actual score.
Right.
17. That's even more satisfying. The next goal wins when you're 6 down. But that doesn't count.
You'd have to question I mean, you won the game, but you can see the 16 goals. I wouldn't be happy.
Wow. Latest scores in the Premier League. Cardiff are 2-0 up against West Ham. Bournemouth 2-0 up away at Huddersfield. As you just heard, it's Leicester 2, Fulham 1. Newcastle 2-1 down at home against Everton, and there's just been a goal at St Mary's. Southampton up against Spurs. Let's get the latest from this one from Alan Lewis.
Southampton 2, Tottenham 1, and this game has been turned on its head inside 5 minutes. James Ward-Prowse with a free kick over the wall and into the top corner. Absolutely unstoppable. This coming after Jan Valery had cancelled out Harry Kane's goal in the first half, and suddenly this game has flipped on its head. Tottenham stunned, and they really are in trouble now. Southampton 2, Tottenham 1.
Wow, what a turnaround at St Mary's. Southampton 2, Spurs 1, and that would be a huge result, firstly, for Southampton, which would move them out of the relegation zone. In fact, if Cardiff win and see it out, as we expect they will against West Ham, it's going to bring quite a few teams back into it. Burnley are suddenly only 2 points clear. Their game in hand is away against Liverpool tomorrow. They've struggled to get enough wins. Like, you feel the concern for Burnley is maybe they've had their run.
Yeah, and now they're going to...
They had that 8-game unbeaten streak.
But the main narrative here is Spurs going from title contenders to potentially 5th.
Yeah, well, the Man U Arsenal game, if there's a winner in that game tomorrow, it's going to bring that team, like it would bring Manchester United level with Spurs.
And likewise, if Arsenal win, they're back within a point, and United are only 3 points behind.
And Chelsea are bang there as well. Like
game with the games in hand. Yeah,
the battle for the top 4 is going to go right to the wire.
That's going to be the... Well, I mean, the Premier League itself is going to go right to the wire, potentially.
All the big games live and off the ball, Dan, including Arsenal Man United tomorrow.
Yeah.
Stephen Doyle is going to be there with Gary Breen.
You're at Cheltenham.
You're at Cheltenham.
I'm a racing man these days.
Centaur.
Like yourself, Johnny, it's hard to get your priorities right sometimes.
Centaur Arena.
It's been a goal at St James's Park. Last we heard, Newcastle had pulled one back against Everton. Who's the 4th goal of the game gone to? Stephen Goldsmith.
It's Newcastle 2, Everton 2. The home side have come from 2 goals down to level things, and it is Jose Perez who has equalised for the home side. A long shot from distance coming from Almiron. Jordan Pickford couldn't hold it. He pushed it out into the path of the Spaniard, who scores. Newcastle 2, Everton 2.
Turn around at St James's Park then. No shortage of drama as we head towards the full-time whistles in the Premier League. Newcastle 2, Everton 2 is the scoreline. We'll bring you an update on Seamus Coleman if we get it, but the word from Goodison Park is that it was illness that ruled him out, so you'd assume it'll be grand in a couple of days.
Good news for Seamus Coleman is that he appears to be back in Johnny Ward's starting 11.
Oh, really? So he played very well against Liverpool. Last week.
How do we fit in Doherty?
Do either play him right midfield or left back?
Again.
Simple as that.
I didn't want to go here again, actually. It's my fault. He's back in Johnny's team. Let's just leave it at that.
No, I was kind of basing it on what he said, and I was picking the team based on what I thought Mick might pick because he was so keen on Doherty. But then you pointed out that it was actually he was in Wolverhampton, wasn't he, or something?
Seamus says he's not thinking about it.
No? Oh, you asked him about that. A couple of the Donegal people didn't like you
I've had the Donegal mafia. In fact, to the extent I had one guy accusing me of being anti-Donegal and pro-Dublin, that I want Matt Doherty in the team because he's from Dublin and I want to get the Donegal guy out.
Yeah, you could be right.
Who knows?
In fact, you could be fueled by a secret agenda.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, we meet every so often to go through our agendas.
Exactly. Before we get to ads, a couple of more quick suggestions. They're getting more and more obscure.
Well, Johners now must be the most obscure we've had.
See, did that happen? We need footage.
Yeah, does he have an Instagram of the goal or anything like that?
There's only one winner of this. Tehran Derby.
Eamon Zaid
v Esteghlal. Eamon Zaid comes on for Persepolis. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Persepolis, yeah. Persepolis.
8 minutes left. 2-0 down. Eamon Zaid scores a hat-trick, including a winner in injury time from Wes.
There was like 80 or 90,000 people at that game. Persepolis is actually it's a World Heritage Site in Iran, near enough to Shiraz, I think. And for some reason they called the club after that, even though it's nowhere near Tehran. But that must have been absolutely incredible for Eamon Zaid, who was used to playing in front of like 1,000 people every week.
Sergio Roberto goal against Paris Saint-Germain, injury time to make it 6-1 in the Champions League 2017.
Oh yeah, that's the late winner. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You see, it felt like that was coming.
Why did I say Neymar for that earlier? Because he was involved in getting a couple of the earlier goals, but it was Sergio Roberto with the drama at the end.
Kostadinov for Bulgaria against France in the Paris '94 World Cup qualifier.
Oh yeah,
which was the David Ginola.
Ginola got Houllier put out a contract on him.
Yeah. Felt a bit sorry for David Ginola that time.
None of these goals been spoken about hold a candle to an event in 1982. Who do you think he's suggesting for late goals?
Scott.
Seamus Darby.
Seamus Darby.
Wrong sport. Somebody even texted in Stephen Cluxton in 2011.
That was a point.
Wrong sport, and it was a point.
I mean,
and though I have a pro-Dublin bias, I don't think we can give you the tickets.
There's a lot of shots over the bar we can discuss in injury time, to be fair.
Hold that thought. Another goal at St James's Park. Sometimes I think there's just too much drama.
Jeff.
Whew. Stephen Goldsmith.
Newcastle 3, Everton 2, and the comeback is complete for the home side, who were 2-0 down here. Jose Perez has his second of the game. A high ball into the Everton penalty area was not defended well at all, and from close range, left-footed, low into the corner, Jose Perez has made it Newcastle 3, Everton 2.
Oh, what a turnaround for Rafa Benitez's side, heading for a 5th straight home victory. Looked so unlikely earlier on when they were 2-0 down. Now they lead by 3-2. And what is that going to mean for Marco Silva, who's in a tough run of fixtures at Goodison Park over the next little while? We'll take a quick break and then we'll run you through all the full times in the Premier League.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
Your vehicle's tyres play a vital role in your safety on the road. Ensure your tyres are roadworthy, inflated to the correct pressure, and are of a minimum tread depth for use on public roads. Motor Tips, brought to you by Volkswagen Service. Book a service online at volkswagen.ie.
Want peace of mind with your next car purchase? Done Deal's new manufacturer-approved car ads give you warranties, roadside assist, and so much more. Find your next car with Ireland's largest selection of manufacturer-approved car ads. Done Deal. Discover and drive.
Football Index is reinventing football betting. You can buy and sell the world's top players. Their value may go up and down, but it's not over with the final whistle like a regular bet. Football Index, reinventing football betting.
Start building your portfolio today at footballindex.co.uk or download the app now. New customers only, minimum deposit and conditions apply. Gamble responsibly.
Enjoy your independent time this Saturday. It's the biggest week on the racing calendar and we've got the ultimate guide to all you need to know about Cheltenham with analysis and top tips from our experts. Plus, Alan Quinlan explains how Ireland need to push the French giants around the park in the Six Nations. Weekend Magazine has the perfect catch of fish recipes and Roddy Doyle talks about his new book on his most personal character to date. Irish Independent and independent.ie on Saturday. It's your weekend.
If you're experiencing an unplanned pregnancy, there's someone you can talk to. My Options is a new HSE free phone line that offers confidential counselling to support you with an unplanned pregnancy. Professional, experienced counsellors can talk to you about all your options, including continued pregnancy supports and abortion services. For information and support with an unplanned pregnancy, free phone 1-800-828-010 or visit myoptions.ie. From the HSE.
For journeys unknown and new roads discovered, knowing wherever they take you, we'll have you covered.
Insure your car online with Aviva and get 10% off. Get your quote today and find out more at aviva.ie. For car insurance, you're safe in the hands of Aviva. Acceptance criteria, terms and conditions apply. Subject to minimum premium of €280. Aviva Direct Ireland Limited is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Car insurance is underwritten by Aviva Insurance Ireland DAC.
These are uncertain times. With Brexit looming large, there are still no guarantees about how things will pan out. But one thing is for sure, Irish business owners will rise to the challenge. They'll continue to create jobs and drive our economy forward. And Linked Finance will be here to help. Whether Brexit impacts your business or not, we can provide the capital needed to overcome any obstacle or seize any opportunity. For business loans of up to €300,000 in just 24 hours, apply now at linkedfinance.com.
How are you, football fans? Tomorrow, you can stream Arsenal v Man United and Chelsea v Wolves. That's 2 unmissable fixtures for a one-off payment of just €10. To grab a Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass and only pay for the games that matter to you, search Now TV today. Content streamed via internet, full terms at nowtv.com.
Imagine carefree days by the ocean. Days where you don't have to worry about a thing. While you snuggle up in your Trump Doombeg suite and watch the waves roll in. Let the wind take your breath away as you stroll along Duckmore Beach. Then step in from the roar of the wild Atlantic Ocean and linger for longer by an open fire. Escape to West Clare. For our best offers, visit trumphotels.com/Ireland. Trump Doombeg by the ocean.
No one does Cheltenham quite like QuinBet. With a huge selection of markets on horse racing, plus all your favourite sports. We've got you covered right through the festival and beyond. And now with live casino and Irish lottery betting, you can find us on mobile, app and PC. QuinBet.com. T's and C's apply. Gamble responsibly. Visit gambleaware.ie.
Irlande, you have taken France into your heart.
it. Our wine in your restaurants, the fashion in your stores, and the Renault Capture is on all your boulevards. You do realize it will become your nearest EU neighbor? Oui?
Ooh la la. Thanks for that, France. No wonder the Renault Capture is Ireland's best-selling small SUV ever. Book a 24-hour test drive at your local Renault dealer today. Terms and conditions apply. See Renault.ie.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
Still scoreless between England and Italy. 3.5 minutes gone in their Six Nations clash. England have had all the possession inside the Italian half so far. Ian Madigan, by the way, with the last kick of the game, gave the Bristol Bears a 26-24 win away to Northampton in the Premiership. He kicked an 87th minute conversion in that game.
Man will have plenty of interest in Cheltenham. Big horsey man.
Ian Madigan?
Yep. Owned a horse called the Crafty Butcher. A name that a lot of people will get the reference as well. But sticking to the actual horse. Finished second in a big handicap to Paddy Power at Leopardstown. Very, very close, big winner.
They're into the final moments of the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League, and best thing about this time of the season is there's generally loads of goals and loads of drama in these sort of games involving teams in the bottom half. The big stories: Spurs have blown a lead against Southampton. They're 2-1 down in injury time, and 10 days ago feeling they could still mount a title challenge. Now they're very much looking behind them, and they will be just 3 points ahead of Manchester United, having played a game more, unless they can grab a late equaliser. Newcastle have come from 2-0 down to lead Everton 3-2 at St James's Park. Leicester 3-1 up against Fulham. Huddersfield look doomed to relegation like Fulham. They're 2-0 down against Bournemouth. And Cardiff City are 2-0 up at home against West Ham. Won't be enough to move them out of the relegation zone because of that Southampton performance, but does keep them within touching distance of Southampton, of Burnley, and maybe even Crystal Palace and Brighton as well, who are 5 points ahead of them. That's after Brighton beat Palace 2-1 earlier today. The late game is Manchester City against Watford. City will have a chance to go 4 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Phil Kinsella is going to be watching this one at the Etihad. Evening, Phil.
Good evening, guys.
So City have obviously had a few injury problems over the last few weeks and have been still grinding out their 1-0 victories to put themselves in pole position. It's in their own hands now. What's the team news for this one?
Well, the two changes for City, as we thought would be the case, with John Stones out, Kevin De Bruyne out. So it's Vincent Kompany coming into the back four and Riyad Mahrez coming into midfield. Edison, Walker, Kompany, Otamendi, Zinchenko, Mahrez, Gundogan, David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Sterling and Aguero, the starting 11. As for Watford, it made me laugh when I looked at this team sheet, because there looks to be at least 7 different starters from the side that beat Leicester City last Sunday, and clearly the manager's come for a point or two, shall we say, try and hold out for 90 minutes, because he looks like he's put a 3-5-2 formation out today. Foster in goal, Janmat, Messina, Britos, Capacele and Firmino. Tom Cleverley, Capoue and Doucouré, they're the central midfielders, who probably have Janmat and Firmino as wing-backs today. And as a success, and Andre Gray, the men up front, no Deulofeu, no Troy Deeney, they're all relegated to the bench. So real rotation from the Watford manager, but I think he's declaring that he'll take a 0-0 right now.
Yeah, sounds like it. Thanks a lot for that, Phil. Enjoy the game. By the sounds of it, it's going to be very similar to what Bournemouth did and what West Ham did, where City ground out these 1-0 victories, like the Bournemouth game last week.
Did not have a shot on goal.
All sorts of records. First time ever that a home team in the Premier League since the Opta stats began didn't have a single shot on target or off target.
Did they have a corner?
In the entire game. Didn't have a corner.
Yeah, I think had they 18% possession or something like that. Yeah.
We're going to have to pick a winner for our late goals at some stage. Hi lads, surely Shawnee Maguire's 120th minute winner in the FAI Cup against arch rivals Dundalk is the greatest. Absolute scenes, says Jermid in Cork.
It was great drama, but it was a bit pinball machine. Yeah.
I'm not going to read this out. Roscommon against Mayo, Connacht final 2001. Mayo take the lead by goal last minute of normal time, but Roscommon hit back with goal of their own to win it.
You must be quite near the border there, you?
I am right in the border, yeah.
And the closer you are to the other county, the more you dislike them.
Oh yeah, we really dislike Roscommon people.
Yeah.
Really, you still do?
Well, I would have always felt that the greater rivalry was against Roscommon than against Galway, whereas I think most people would feel Galway were more of the rivals. But half my school was from Roscommon.
It's funny, I'm from near the Roscommon border, and like the Galway-Mayo rivalry was great, but like we actually had a kind of an admiration for Mayo, and we'd always really wished them well when they were in the All-Irelands, and that with Roscommon it was slightly different. There was a real rivalry there, and didn't like them at all. Didn't like them when they played other teams.
It's common people just driving along, going about their day, thinking that we're harmless as ever, and they're just getting destroyed literally from all sides.
Wish them well now with Anthony Cunningham in charge. Of course, Galway so close to hurling glory.
There's common blood in my family. So
Whereabouts, Dan?
Sort of Boyle direction. Yeah.
Okay, so that's practically Sligo. England have got their first try against Italy.
It is. It's very near the border, isn't it?
So they probably don't like Sligo people.
Well, this is it.
Sligo's a very
hard... all these rivalries people don't even know about.
Sligo's a very hard place.
The reason people chose hell instead.
Have we a winner, though?
Well, we're going to pick one. So England 5, Italy 0. England have just got their first try of that game. Ireland ticket winner, Shane Hannon, our producer, has picked this, goes to Neil Shannon on Twitter. So he's going to get himself 2 premium level tickets for the Republic of Ireland.
Was it a Manchester United suggestion?
You will be sitting alongside Johnny Ward on the laptop pretending to work. You might be in the proper President's Lounge for this, will you?
I have no idea. I may not even be at the game. I don't know.
Not denying it.
Yeah.
He's not denying it.
He could be. What was the winning suggestion?
Has to be Robbie Keane against Germany, World Cup 2002, was in the Shannon Airport departure lounge on the way to Boston for the J1. We'll never forget it.
Lovely.
Nice.
How did you get on the J1?
What's his name again?
I was in.
What's his name?
Neil Shannon.
And he was in Shannon.
Are you sure it's not Neil in Shannon?
Neil, Shannon.
Neil Shannon.
Some Neil Shannon has won.
I think we can all agree that Robbie's goal against Germany deserves it. Considering his tickets for Ireland, Robbie's the assistant manager.
Yeah.
It all links in beautifully.
Symmetry. Yeah, it works.
That was a great moment. Where did you watch it, Nathan?
I think I was on holidays in Mallorca or somewhere like that as a young 20-year-old lad.
Oh.
On my holidays.
Streets like a jungle.
And I was in a bar with a lot of English people.
Cheering on Ireland?
Cheering on, yeah, they were delighted for us.
Which is something we should always remember with the English.
Absolutely Lula. Almost went through the roof.
I slept in. I woke up at 29 minutes past 12.
What?
And the game kicked off at 12:30, so I was meant to go and meet people.
29 minutes past 12?
I was out the night before. It was my first summer in Dublin. It was a lot of late nights.
Do you remember that summer in Dublin?
Not in the way that you should.
You don't remember much about that anyway.
No, but it wouldn't be as good a song. I woke up, but I ended up watching it on my own, just screaming my head off, like in the apartment.
Hungover.
That was my proper.
Not even clothed.
My proper hipster World Cup, whereby I watched pretty much every game. Even
I tried to stay up through the night,
but also refused to go to the pub for any of the other Ireland matches because didn't want to be around other people. Wanted to be able to sit and enjoy it.
I watched Ireland-Spain game in Portobello, and then after the penalty shootout, there was people walking out in the streets, distraught, at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Just completely deflated.
I watched it in Heavy's pub in Newbridge with a load of people. It was quite early. It was 12:30. It was a bit strange watching it.
Those two games
the
were
pub was packed.
Cameroon was 7:30. Cameroon
I slept it in for that.
Did you?
Yeah, I was out the night before. But then, in fairness, I was on at 7 in the morning or whatever.
I slept through Brazil-England. I stayed up for it.
I stayed up and I fell asleep through it.
And I woke up and it was back in the day before Sky Plus, so you couldn't rewind, which was a bit of a bloody disaster. So I just woke up to see the highlights of
the commentary.
Those were tough times.
David Seaman's.
Those were glorious days.
Day to forget, yeah.
Glorious days. I walked out of Ireland. No, it was the World Cup final. I watched it in the King's Head in Galway on Shop Street in Galway, having somehow managed to go through my first year in college, 6 weeks of non-working so I could watch every game of the World Cup. But I was facing a return to Ballyhonus due to my lack of money. And I walked into McDonnell's on Shop Street to get me a job. There and then.
What a story.
Do you think they still say...
3 weeks in McDonald's and Shop Street kept me going.
Do you think they still say in McDonald's in Galway, Nathan Murphy worked here at one time?
I most definitely doubt it somehow.
I doubt it.
Yeah, it's unlikely.
Yet here we are talking about it. Now, what a wonderful tangent we've gone off on again.
What was it like working at McDonald's?
Great.
What?
Free food.
Well, hopefully not from McDonald's.
It's like Rory O'Connor will be in here a bit. He went to Paris for a summer. He spoke about it during the week. Worked in a restaurant in the Champs-Élysées. He was like, "Oh, it's impressive." Yeah, it's McDonald's. But still, it doesn't quite have the same. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it.
Very clean is what I would say, Johnny. We spend hours cleaning the bloody place every night.
Well, I should hope so. It's a restaurant.
It was a bloody nightmare.
Yeah. Maybe McDonald's in Galway is a bit like, it's no Supermax. It's
there is a bit of that.
It is. It's got a bit of that. Yeah.
Would you still eat in McDonald's? Would you still eat after working there? Would you still eat there?
I'd sooner eat there after working there because you work there and you go, actually, yeah. You used to eat there all the time though. You used to be able to bring the food home when you were finished in the evening.
Oh.
Would you do?
So when you were in college, I was the most popular man in our apartment. I'd arrive home at midnight and it'd be 55 chicken nuggets coming in at midnight on a Tuesday evening.
Nice.
That is literally the worst thing you could be eating. I'm Burger King over McDonald's every day for me anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, Whopper meal.
Surely you're a Supermax man.
Yeah, no.
Wow, turning his back on his own people.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Good stuff here.
Apparently there's a...
This is brilliant radio, this is.
Italy have just scored a try. Tommaso Allen has just gone over in the corner for Italy, so 7-5 England, conversion to come. Full time's in the Premier League. Let's start at bottom of the table, Huddersfield. They are going down. They're up against Bournemouth. Joe Townsend.
Huddersfield 0, Bournemouth 2. A first-half goal from Callum Wilson on his return from a 6-week injury layoff and in front of England boss Gareth Southgate. And a second-half finish from Ryan Fraser ends Bournemouth's 9-game losing streak away from home in the Premier League. Huddersfield huffed and they puffed, but they showed why they're cut adrift at the bottom. They failed to create a single clear-cut chance. It's finished Huddersfield 0, Bournemouth 2.
Right, so that means that Huddersfield remain rooted to the foot of the table. They are now 16 points from safety. There are 8 games left. There's every chance to be relegated probably in the next fortnight or so, and that moves Bournemouth up to 12th in the table. Southampton, what an afternoon at St Mary's for both them and for Tottenham for very different reasons. Let's get the full-time score from this one from Alan Lewis.
It's finished Southampton 2, Tottenham 1. A huge win for Southampton in their fight against relegation, but a big blow to Tottenham. It was all going so well for Spurs as well. Harry Kane had given them a deserved first half lead. Kane then missed a couple of good chances before Southampton turned the game on its head inside 3 second half minutes. First, Jan Valery took advantage of some sloppy defending to fire home an equaliser, and then James Ward-Prowse with a wonderful free kick from 20 yards out to put the home side in front. Southampton did well to defend the advantage and see the game out. A massive 3 points for the Saints. It's finished Southampton 2, Tottenham 1.
That is an absolute collapse from Tottenham. They've now lost 3 of their last 4 games in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Drew the other one against Arsenal, and from being right in a title race, they suddenly find themselves 10 points behind Manchester City, having played a game more. But crucially, they're very much looking behind them now. They are 3 points ahead of Manchester United, 4 ahead of Arsenal and 5 ahead of Chelsea, and they've played a game more than United and Arsenal and 2 more than Chelsea.
It's almost as though the Pochettino Man United chat like derailed them or something. It's just really strange, and he seems to lose his composure as well.
And that is a 9th defeat of the season for Spurs.
The funny thing was, like, Liverpool and City weren't like really, you know, absolutely banging it in every week. They did seem to have a glimmer of a hope for a while, and now you'd have to say at the moment they could nearly be verging on odds against to actually finish top 4 in the form they're in.
They did get good news last night that they are finally going to get into the new stadium before the end of the season. They'll probably have the Champions League quarter-final at the new stadium, and they'll play, I think it's the last 4 or 5 home games at the new White Hart Lane, which looks unbelievably spectacular.
It's a really great interview with Son and The Guardian as well. I don't know, with David Heitner. Brilliant.
Young men.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, just about his single-mindedness and how he's not getting married till the end of his career because he's very driven. He still lives with his parents. His parents have moved over. He lives in an apartment with his parents. And there was a story how when he was a kid, he did keepy-uppies for 4 hours. 4 hours, but not letting the ball drop.
That's a bit mad.
Yeah. Wow. It's an unbelievable level of
focus. Could you do 4 seconds? Four touches would be happy enough with. No, I mean, I don't know. I think a minute you'd be pretty impressed with yourself. Like 4 hours is sort of. It's a good example to any kid out there. Get off your phone and instead do keepy-uppies for 4 hours.
But you get someone to hold your phone and record it so we can.
put it on
exactly.
Instagram.
Otherwise, what's the point of doing it? So that's a huge win for Southampton. Keeps them clear of Cardiff City. Because Cardiff could well have moved out of the relegation zone. Southampton on to 30 points, level with Burnley, 2 clear of Cardiff. Quite a story as well at St James's Park, where Newcastle have won again, which was highly unlikely for the vast majority of this game. Stephen Goldsmith.
Newcastle 3, Everton 2, a pulsating game of football at St James's saw Newcastle turn around a 2-0 deficit to win the game. Jose Perez scored twice, once rebounding in from a Pickford save, someone who was involved plenty today, conceding and saving a penalty. Rondon got the comeback underway, responding to first half goals from Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. It finished Newcastle 3, Everton 2.
Newcastle edging ever closer to safety, moves them on to 34 points now, 6 clear of Cardiff City. So big win and a 5th straight home win for Rafa Benitez's side in that one. Interesting game as well at the King Power Stadium. Brendan Rodgers first at home in charge of Leicester City. They were taking on Fulham. Derek Clark.
Full-time Leicester City 3, Fulham 1. Brendan Rodgers gets his first win as Foxy's boss. Yuri Tielemans gave them a first half lead, but the Cottagers drew level 6 minutes after the restart through Floyd Ayiti, a second half substitute. Jamie Vardy restored the lead in the 78th minute for his 100th goal for the club, and he added the second in the 86th minute, side-footing past Sergio Rico after a Harvey Barnes layoff. It's finished Leicester City 3, Fulham 1.
Yeah, much like Huddersfield, Fulham, it seems, are doomed. They're on 17 points. They're now 13 points from safety, and they're heading straight back down to the Championship. Finally, we'll go to Cardiff, who may still have a chance. A huge win for them at home against West Ham. Watching this was Sam Fleet.
It's finished Cardiff City 2, West Ham United 0. A big 3 points for the Bluebirds as they battle to avoid relegation. They deserved the win too. West Ham only turned up for the last 20 minutes. By then the game was all but won. The goals came early in both halves, both from close range. The first from Hoylett and then Camarasa. Murphy set them both up. Rice hit the post for West Ham late on, and Arnautovic went close too, but the hosts saw the game out well. Full time, Cardiff 2, West Ham 0.
It is sort of getting towards that time of the season where these mid-table teams with nothing really to play for just become completely flaky. You just can't trust them. Like Everton there, chucked it in. You know, West Ham today, away to Cardiff, like that shouldn't be happening really.
That's why when you're looking at remaining fixtures and you're looking at what City have and what Liverpool have, that Liverpool have to play 5 of the bottom 6. You don't want to be playing the bottom 6.
No, you want to
play
the
top 6.
Middle rump. That's
you want to be playing the middle 8, who, like Watford or Bournemouth, just turn up and take their beating.
Holiday mode.
If you're playing the bottom 6.
No, you still expect to win.
But something
there's
will
going
happen.
to be far more fight. And that is part of the problem when you're predicting, even for the relegation fight, you're looking at fixtures, who will survive, who won't. If you're at home against the mid-table team, we said it before kick-off in this for the Cardiff game, that this is a game, particularly with their upcoming fixtures, that Cardiff will probably expect to win.
Yeah, even like Liverpool have to go to Fulham, don't they? Now, I know Fulham have changed, you know, the manager situation has changed. There's just that slight danger where you get that bounce. I know they've lost away today, but there is just that slight danger you catch them at a bad time when they're completely fired up. Like Fulham actually have ability, they've just been disgracefully bad, you know. So what about Claudio Ranieri, by the way, getting a job? Roma. So I was at Southampton Fulham when they were an absolute disgrace and the fans were mutinous, and you can pitch up to Roma within 10 days. It's not bad.
It's a nice little circle to get yourself into that man.
I assume now, I wonder what his payoff terms were. Was it one of those where they pay him until he gets another job, or did has he managed to come out of these 10 days absolutely laughing?
Got an extra,
new salary and a payoff.
That'd be nice, yeah. Roma are 5th in Serie A. They're only 3 points behind Inter Milan, though, in the Champions League places. So, interesting end of the season. Thanks, lads.
Thank you,
there
Nathan.
Once again. We'll see you next Saturday.
We will be here next Saturday. Johnny will be here. Don't mind him. He's just
we'll see you next Saturday. We'll be watching the rugby in studio.
When are you going to Cheltenham?
Tomorrow.
Flying out earlier?
When you come back to Cheltenham?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are you flying out earlier?
I'm flying out midday, Cheltenham.
We can discuss it over dinner later.
On that dreadful 6:20 flight or whatever it is in the morning.
Or to Anfield. Yeah, we'll get the reaction next Saturday.
I'm looking forward to hearing about Johnny's football games consistently over the next couple of months.
It's going to be exciting.
Well, I'm obviously going to speak about Bamford as if I've known him all his career on the basis of watching him for probably 90 minutes on Tuesday.
Make sure if you chat to him, you bring up what Kilbane was saying.
I'm just wondering, how feasible would this be to actually try to get an interview with?
Oh, well, the key is not to make it public.
Actually, to be honest, I could give you a really boring answer to this, but you'd struggle to get in. You need to have... like Nathan is a rights holder, that's why he was able to get in and have Declan Rice walk past him. You know, you need some privileges for the pleasure. you know, to get treated that badly, you need to fill out a lot of forms.
Got Ronan
indemnity
very
insurance.
Easily, but I think this is a different
championship games. You need a special card and stuff like that. So
to wrap up, Emmett O'Halloran on Twitter, we were halfway over the Atlantic when our Aer Lingus captain announced to the plane that Ireland had equalised with a Robbie Keane goal. Chaos on board, bar a few very confused looking Americans.
See, that's probably a better story than Neil. That's a better story than Shannon and Shannon. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe they could go together.
Tony McCoy is coming up in just a few minutes' time. Always interesting. He'll give us his Cheltenham tips, and we're going to get the best of our hurling and football shows as well. Quick break.
Get up-to-the-minute news updates at newstalk.com and on the Newstalk app.
Journey after journey, your vehicle's oils and fluids fight against huge pressure, resistance and temperatures. Make sure you regularly check your vehicle's oils and fluids to prevent harm to your vehicle and achieve peak performance and efficiency. Motor Tips, brought to you by Volkswagen Service. Book a service online at volkswagen.ie.
Simple ways to surprise yourself. Sleeping through your